TYLOO are going to have to do this one the hard way. Inferno is one that, of course, we see them play a lot. They did their best at Pro League on that map, but Lynn Vision play it well domestically and do look really good on it. I'm taking Lynn Vision for this one. I know you're picking TYLOO. Listen, I would love to pick TYLOO. My hearts are out for them as well. But Lynn Vision, for me, just with the advantage in the series already, it should be the win for me. And they should be the team having another opportunity at Pro League. And actually, there's one more point I want to mention. Another reason why this game has a lot on the line. But first, it's the pistol round between Lynn Vision and TYLOO in this BO5 grand final. Lots of utility for both teams. Already TYLOO priming top banana.
And we have started pretty much bang on time, which for the online Counter-Strike can be a little unheard of. So credit to the teams for that one. TYLOO, of course, as we mentioned, forfeit win and all that in the previous series. But in a way, it's a bit of a godsend. Not only do they get the win, which was expected, but they get a lot of time in between the series, so a lot of time to prepare, which I think will be extremely valuable. Interesting move thus far, Trav. The nades stack onto CT. No one there. Now they're walking back towards A. I mean, if Zaka gets good timing here, he could be absolutely devastating, and he's starting to get a sense for it.
Do it, Zaka.
Gonna make a move. Oh, he just immediately starts shooting. I mean, doesn't even line up his crosshair there. Definitely had a chance to do so. Only one for him. It was slightly out of the range. You know what I mean? If he was like a second earlier, I think he could have been devastating, but not the case. So the bamboozle of the B to the A has worked out here.
The right-click nade to break open that smoke there, countered by a flash at exactly the same time. So that nade is basically useless. They couldn't get any information about where TYLOO were positioning themselves with that break of the smoke. So huge flash actually there for TYLOO. And now Westmelon will work their way in toward the balcony position. Actually remove Mercury, but there's no way Kulmisu should be allowed onto the site. He'll get taken down by Jamyoung. There's another headshot for Jamyoung, looking for all the remaining 3, and he actually gets all 5 to kick off this grand final.
Yes, sir. That is a very, very good sign for TYLOO. Jamyoung, I think, coming into when these boys were rare atom, the core of this TYLOO team, he was the one that a lot of people were watching and caught the eye on an individual perspective. So if you can get him flying, if you can get him started off with an ace and he continues that, he could really be a decisive factor in this grand final.
For sure. For sure. Lynn Vision will go for the full force, actually, with the MP9, Deagles, and 5.7s. And the one really important thing I wanted to mention about this series, right, is because we know now that, of course, there are predicted rankings on HLTV, right, when it comes to the VRS, but true VRS confirmed changes are only now made once tournaments are complete. And ESL Challenger League has been going for ages, right? It's one of the longest drawn-out tournaments in the scene right now. So both these two teams, win or lose, and especially if you win, are going to get a huge injection of points to their VRS and could change their invite possibilities for the next couple of months, maybe.
Yeah, especially Lynn Vision, right? They break into that top 30. So that'll be very, very important, I think, for, you know, some of your PGLs and stuff that seem to be the types of events that are getting skipped. Starry on the Deagle. This is definitely what we are asking for. Oh my goodness, the crosshair placement on that short position in particular is just so damn clean. He's done a lot of work here and the game has already started off explosively. 3 versus 2. Bomb has gone down. Strong weapon of that AK is dealt with quickly. It's all going to be on Jamyoung. He knows they are unlikely to have a kit. Great flash through, and he's actually clutched it up. Oh my goodness. Starry is head in hands. Clean 3K. The chaotic 4-piece from Jamyoung, though, to get 9 kills in 2 rounds, Trap.
Oh, I love this region so much, dude. It never disappoints. Starry, that was absolutely sick. I just didn't know exactly where he needed to place his crosshair on short. Not just once, but twice, right? The readjustment to place it there twice to adjust. To react, to that second player. Unbelievable. And then Jamyoung, the right-click flash through the smoke. That's the only way he wins that round. That flash working out. blinds up the player in front of Pit, and then is able to push into the site and take the other one. Lynn Vision already slightly tilted by that one, I'm sure, without a doubt. That should have been theirs. Starry did everything, but Jamyoung did more. He's got 9 kills. The rest of his team has 1.
Kind of hilarious. And we'll see in this round. It is an A stack, a brackets stack to be specific. And TYLOO, in classic fashion, are headed towards B. They're about to waste, you know, $1,000 more probably in terms of utility. Just make sure all your lineups are working. I suppose there is nobody home. And there you go, a complete sink of cash. Not usually something that gets mentioned. Kind of me-bemol in quality, but all the same.
Yeah.
There's no one here. So they're re-smoking CT. There's nobody here, guys. For goodness sake.
Yeah, we need to get attacker on the Mac 10. Off to the races, mate. Come on. Go and get those ecos. You know we need it. You need it. Get that dollar. Or can Jamyoung just farm up 4 more kills, maybe? Go on. Honestly, that's more cool. Just let Jamyoung kill up all of them. Try and get him like a record KD for like a certain period of a game. But no, I think we're going to have a situation here where all 5 are going to stay alive on both. They're trying to lock them in banana, hoping that there's some damage that's been done through a smoke to maybe force one of them to go down to the bomb explosion, but actually all 10 players will just about stay alive somehow. Surprising considering attacker had that Mac 10, as you say. That's a bit of an oversight, I think. Should have definitely sent him in on that one. I don't know why they didn't, but Lynn Vision's buy will now be available.
It's just immediate tension, isn't it, right? The stakes of the game, everybody's like, oh, we don't want to give them any free kills or give any weapons away. You know, you're trying to play the mental gymnastics of having the upper hand and feeling like you're in control and winning rounds. You know, it's even on the other side of things. You mentioned the Mac 10, but Lynn Vision, it's like we're 3 rounds at that point in. Just send it. Just try and, you know, get some kills or something. Just be annoying, right? That's what you usually do on an eco, but they're like, no kill bonus. Don't give them any confidence. You know, all those very minute things that you usually only see in games like this where there's a lot on the line.
G. Naded down to 52. Call Me Sue on the full rotation. Of course, exciting times for Call Me Sue and for Lynn Vision, of course. They did qualify for IEM Dallas, which means Call Me Sue will be playing a LAN in America, his kind of second home. Spent a lot of time in America playing in various NA rosters. And of course, the major coming up as well for him. Dallas and the major for him. That's incredibly exciting. Emilia will go for the swing, will take down attacker. Jamyoung quick trade, but not expecting Starry on the elevated angle. 3v2, man advantage. There is things that Kunsu needs to be wary of, and thankfully Starry will fall back in time and cover his teammate. That's a great hold. 2 kills for Starry, up to 5. And G is left with the Galil in a 1v3.
Oh. Trying to make a move, trying to be a little slick with it, but he's spotted, he's finished off. So there you are, Lynn Vision. With the first rifle, you know, we may well have had some very individualistic rounds from TYLOO out of Jamyoung, but when it comes to the guns, Lynn Vision get themselves started well.
It's funny, on the Inferno we saw earlier, right, TYLOO, they don't really like putting G on the... Obviously, hasn't got the money for it, just something to mention. They don't really like putting G on the AWP on T side all too often. But on the CT side, he only brought it out when they had a big bank built up after like 3 rounds in a row where they survived with 5 players alive. So, you're curious to see when they go for it in this game. Westmelon can't deal with Jamyoung. Again, an entry top banana for the main man of TYLOO. Forces a double rotation.
Does seem to have worked. Does seem to have called them across. It's just all about playing the bluff now. I like the idea. I think they get together a bit there to maybe try and coordinate some aggression into top banana, but deciding against it. Lovely little nade there. One for you guys to use in your MM games if you so choose, or I guess it's Premier now, but all the same. Zaka boosted up, ready to go. This is the unexpected move. The flash is absolutely perfect. He has still gone unnoticed, though. And it's Call Me Sue coming in from the side.
Wow.
That third player that's unexpected. Still doesn't look to be enough. Starry got a clutch up. They are pretty low. So a well-placed handful of bullets could really make the difference here. Especially onto G, of course.
Yeah, the perfect 3 for 3 on the trades there for TYLOO, working their way into the site. Only just recovering the 2 for 1 to allow, or 2v1, sorry, to allow a good opportunity to take this round and get up to 4. Starry is clearing the site. He's got no idea where they're at, but he's still got a smoke kit. It's taken quite a long time to throw this one down, and G, even on the 4 health, will just go for the swing and hit the headshot. Mercury was the insurance policy. The side is just to go for the swing and take it immediately. Surprise there, sure. Listen, I understand Starry needs to clear out the site. He doesn't have any information about where TYLOO positioned themselves, but it is planted for banana. You do have a smoke kit. I'm surprised he didn't try and right-click that on the bomb relatively early and try and lure one of them out a bit sooner.
Yeah, it's again just getting comfortable in the game, isn't it? You know, overthinking things a bit, like overplaying, you might call it. Again, early on in the game, bit of info that they're low, 2 versus 1. He probably moves a bit faster in week 6 of the regular league. So, you know, it just goes to show that they are trying to adjust and maybe overcompensate somewhat into the grand final here.
Quite possibly.
Well, I don't know. Is it like, would you have not played that a little bit differently, a little faster? It's hard to say, I suppose, but...
Yeah. I mean, listen, like, as I say, it's a lack of information for Starry. Like, he was very late on the rotation. He had to clear the entire site. But still, I do feel like in that situation, when you've got a clock above your head, right, you need to just make a decision and go for a gamble. If you actually are going to go for the clutch, use what you've got. And didn't decide to do it on that occasion. And that may have cost him, you never know. It's, you know, one thing that is surprising as well is that diffuses in smokes are still as popular and as prevalent as they ever were in Go, right? When everyone saw the nades being able to break up in smokes in CS2 in the announcement videos, everyone was like, oh, well, ninja diffusers are done. It's over. We have an HE. But even though you can spray through smokes and create gaps, right, it's still pretty easy to ninja sometimes.
It's true. It is true. I mean, it's just as old as time, isn't it, really? You know, like, you lock in on one area, and it kind of feels like RNG sometimes. It's like, oh, you're spraying the left, and he's actually all the way to the right. Not much you can do, because obviously you don't know if you're hitting shots, and I don't know. I think it's always the worst in those types of situations, if you second-guess yourself, and you were actually right, and you just needed one more bullet, so on and so on. But they're good fun. I think it is something that really does give a mix-up to the game of Counter-Strike, is the advent of tapping and ninja diffusers, and does he have a kit and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, very clever sort of design. You've got to, I think, in those types of clutches as well that Starry was in, you've got to at least, like, threaten it. You know, it feels like one of the keen options is to get that smoke down. That being said, when people hear utility, they usually peek because you're in between quick switching. So, and I always, as a rule of thumb, I was kind of taught by some of my homies back in the day when I first started playing, and they were already like face it 10 and stuff like that. You know, 10,000 hours in source and what have you.
Yeah.
They always told me when I was the little Bambi in the 1v2 or the 1v1, it's like, just don't use utility in that 1vx situation, and it just completely removes getting timed on.
Yeah, but maybe they thought your util was terrible.
Maybe trying to save me. But you know what I mean? To be fair, I think the smoke is a little different because it's creating like a parameter, like to ninja or whatever. Yeah. But stuff like mollying a random area just leaves you super vulnerable to a peak or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
So
yeah, also
tough to get right.
Also thought processes, that's why those clutches are always very interesting. You can debate them till the end of time in some scenarios. Right. Next round, we have a little bit of a tech pause. I think one of the Lynn Vision players disconnected for a little while. He's back in the server now, and we have a situation where we've got an eco with a Nova on Starry. Lesser spotted, but can do some significant damage.
Bit of a weird game state, I think, to kick this round off. TYLOO able to get away with a lot walking down middle. Oh, they've rotated one across as well. Just mistimed, miscalled, so it does leave long not completely open, but mostly open. Should be able to get this bomb down at the very least. Doesn't seem like they're in much of a rush. Yeah, it just gets weirder and weirder this round, to be honest. There's going to be players everywhere. Very hard to guess where they're coming from, and at the end of the day, it is that weaponry that's going to make the big difference. I think a step heard there in towards the arch. So, yeah, pretty much all confirmed. TYLOO take it quite easily. I could have seen that one being a bloodbath, but they hold their angles well.
Yeah, no mischievous Nova gameplay from the Starry, unfortunately. Not allowed to. But Lynn Vision 1-5 behind, went for that eco in the previous round, will now know that it's time to deliver, and it's time to pull out the Zaka AWP as well. Had the money for it, giving it a go. TYLOO already building up their bank to a pretty decent extent as well. Jamyoung up to 13-2. Really solid work. And of course, yesterday, this is the map that TYLOO did win against LV. So, see if they can repeat that. Often I say that when you have a game immediately the day after, or at least very short time between them anyway, it's maybe a little bit easier for the team who lost to gauge what they did wrong and learn from it. It's up to the team who won to evolve again and innovate. So TYLOO are doing a good job right now.
Oh, nice swings here to kick the round off. Again, another very simple contact-heavy A play. Do have two more to get through, one being the AWP as well, which obviously can be devastating, but Zaka missing multiple shots. Starry in the pit. Gets his, but he's not going to get any more than that, so not too much happening, one would say. It's a nice catch. Bomb's not gone down yet. So Westmelon certainly does have a chance here. They're trying to draw him out. Lovely little smoke there. Isolate the 1v1s. Wins it against G, who maybe goes a little giddy there. I think just commit to the plant and fully force him in, but Mosea is crisp, of course. TYLOO moving up to 6. This is a really strong showing from them thus far.
Real nice try from Westmelon there. Pretty much did everything he possibly could to try and recover that. Decent positioning, decent look through the smoke on a timing. Got the first, gave him an opportunity. Good reaction on the second. But TYLOO just better when it comes to those tight scenarios, and the quick headshot from Mosea. No hesitation whatsoever. Jamyoung up to 14 after that round as well, and Lynn Vision will probably have to stay on 1 though. TYLOO have the advantage with Lynn Vision on this half by. Great reaction. Jamyoung's at it again. Oh my goodness. Come on, let's break some records on this one. Why not? Make it a close game. Lynn Vision, and then just keep feeding Jamyoung, and we could have something special here.
Could be very cool. Could be very, very cool indeed. Gonna need a bit more competition out of the game, though, you know what I mean? It needs to be like...
Exactly.
He gets a 3k, but they still lose the round. So... easier said than done. You know, you don't want to farm too hard.
As you rightly said, mate, like, he's been doing this for ages, right? Like, even on Rare Atom, Inferno was one of their maps, right, with Advent, way back in the day. I say that was like 3 years ago. Not way back in the day, but yeah, it was huge for Jam Young and Mosaic, that duo. And they've become their own trio, apart from Advent, of course. Mercury now the in-game leader. Felt like a bit of a crazy choice from some, but clearly he's only put TYLOO in a good state.
Timeout through here from the Lynn Vision side. They know that this is, you know, really not good. And it's very curious in this kind of region, in this matchup, right? These guys have met each other a lot this year, as you would expect in the odd qualifier here or there. Both of them making it through to the major, but Lynn Vision winning like the seeding game. And I just feel like it's very, very unpredictable. You know, we've got overtime wins on Inferno. We've got some closer wins for TYLOO. We've actually got a win for Lynn Vision in here on this map as well. So, very difficult. And I think the more you do it, eventually there's going to come a time where they just crack you. And that feels like what we're getting here a little bit. They've come in, they've got the map in hand, not their pick. Just kind of taking it easy. And it could all be strat, it could all be tactical, but you don't want to, again, get bested super one-sidedly. So I think they're maybe taking a pause here to be like, right, we do still need to present on Inferno here to just prove that we are warmed up and capable. And that's the only advantage I think I'd give to TYLOO, is that they have locked themselves in, played a competitive map already today, and that does make a difference.
Yeah, I like that thought process, yeah. Amelia in pit, spotting some information towards short, and Komisu is going to have to deal with some angry TYLOO players toward long. Zaka's got a line. Oh, he's going to come off of it at the worst possible time, though. And he hasn't even seen them. Oh, that couldn't be worse. He's come off it at a terrible timing, and he hasn't seen them cross to his left. Oh, it's a nightmare. This is a nightmare for Zaka. They're not going to punish him yet for it, but they've got full control of this, and Zaka has no idea. 3 players around the A bomb site still, 2 on site, and Starry and Pit. Komisu actually will take attacker, and it's kind of like, I was going to say, Zaka didn't know, but now the info's fine, because they know that long's been taken, even though Zaka didn't see it. TYLOO have waited so long that it allows Zaka to post up here. But he will just get destroyed by Mercury. Oh my goodness. Never mind. I thought he saved himself with that repositioning, but not to be. And now Westmelon on Banana. They don't know he's there yet, but now they do. Site taken overall, though. It's going to have to be a 4v3 retake as a bomb is planted safe.
Could be doable here for Lynn Vision. Absolutely going to need it. 4 in from Banana, though, is certainly a rare retake. And Mercury is trained. Certainly not the primary AWPer, but 1 will do. It's all he needs, really. I'd say even get off the angle. He does stay on it, does get another kill. Komisu finds G. They know there's going to be another player in towards the new box area, but there's not a lot of time left on the bomb. A lot to worry about here, and Mercury just isn't missing on this AWP. Amelia, not really much that he can do. Maybe catch an exit on the way out. He will, but the round goes to TYLOO, and that's probably the best chance Lynn Vision have had in recent memory.
Yeah, that was a crazy round with the timings around long. Komisu getting that first one as they tried to maybe sell a bit of a fake over toward the A side of the map. They knew for a long time that A was open, and... Oh, sorry, long was open, and Arch was a possibility. And even though Zaka had that crazy timing where he missed the information, he did get back toward that church position, did have a good angle to hold, but just got destroyed by Mercury, and that entry then helped out TYLOO to take the site. Mercury then got a couple more, picked up the AWP, full blind for the last. TYLOO 8-1. Lynn Vision nowhere to be seen on Inferno really thus far.
already, I think we're in for a pretty banger grand final here. TYLOO making a statement. If they can continue this on as well and give us a quick first map, it blows the whole thing wide open. And this does happen from time to time, you know. We've seen a good number of favourites in the grand final. Lynn Vision themselves being one of them. I do believe last season, might have been the season before. You know, great regular season, great playoffs, and then they just disappeared. I believe against TYLOO. I'll have a little double check when we have the next kind of downtime in that last grand final. And just, no competition at all, and that got TYLOO their Pro League spot that time around. So it does happen, and I'm sure TYLOO have done it a few seasons ago when we had that sort of first season on LAN. They completely disappeared after a great regular season with Starry in the lineup, that was. So, you know, it really is hard to rely on these teams to show up in the way that you expect. TYLOO charging into B here. 2 left on the site itself. Amelia trying not to reveal. However, he does so. Call me Sue. Looking good. It's a lot of damage, and the MP9 just mows them all down. Very well played. Working around his teammates. Comes away with the 4K.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought like he was only going to get a couple, right? I got that one, then had to fall back toward Coffin, had to pull out a nade. I thought that would peak him then and there to deal with that threat, but that's the first proper mistake of the game from TYLOO, really. First proper drop of the ball. G set himself up pretty well with the AWP to get that trade, but you can see why he doesn't necessarily prefer T-side AWPing on Inferno. A lot of teams don't. Back to the rifle immediately. Envision, a critical second to keep them in the conversation on Inferno, but it can't be a flash in the pan. They need an 8-4 here to truly have a chance. Starry takes a big gamble going for that fight with that bottom mid smoke. Could easily have been taken there, but a nade comes flying through and takes G down to 54. So early exchange goes the CT side's way, just about.
So, just sort of checking up. Lynn Vision still made it to Pro League off the back of that LAN final, as it were.
Yeah.
But yeah, last season just got absolutely demolished, really, by TYLOO in the grand final, which was also a BO5. Slightly different setup, you know, a bit more intense on the LAN, all that kind of stuff, but yeah, just, you know, disappearing in that final. So it does seem like these two guys have got a bit of a history in those types of situations, and it can be very, very difficult to tap into the grand final mentality. A quick burst out once again from TYLOO. Before I can even really get my words out, they have secured that bomb site and taken a round very cleanly.
Yeah, there's a couple of good entries. A good pinch, actually, right? I mean, there was a risk when there was that other next player, I think it was Sue, coming through the library smoke, not able to do anything, and just Jam Young once again on the entries, bro. 2 kills, up to 18 now. Yeah, both these two teams are in a very exciting position for their future as a roster, right? I mean, both of them are going to be playing in that Hero Esports Asian Champions League in Yangcheng. Both of them will be attending the major, obviously, getting through the MRQ. And of course, Envision, as I mentioned, will be playing in IEM Dallas too. So Call Me Sue has 2 big events in America to attend in a region that he spent so much time in the past of his career, of course. Teams like Wildcard and G3 for a while. So yeah, he was always a prospect over there. And now he's helping out Lynn Vision truly make a dent in the Asian scene as well. But TYLOO are making a dent in Lynn Vision right now on Inferno. It should be the equalising map at 9-2, you would think, to get up to a 1-1 in the series. And then we can wipe the slate clean, and it's a BO3 all over again.
Jam Young looking for the entry. We got the double push from Lynn Vision here in the apartments. Not going all the way, but still looking for something a bit unorthodox. Listen, First half is kind of a write-off. They're looking to, as you say, freshen things up. Any round's going to help. Slower build-up into this. TYLOO changing the pace up. Flash comes in. It's not the best. I think they might have been blind for like half a second. You know, it was not quite deep enough. So a dangerous peek from Westmelon gives the advantage across.
50 seconds. Looks like TYLOO are going to pull the pin on this play right here, right now. Jamyoung will charge his way through with another entry to his belt. And the bomb can be planted safely on Coffin. It's going to be incredibly difficult for Lynn to win on this retake. They need some luck with some smoke spams, you would think here. 3 kits are available. And they've got really good utility, which makes me hope that maybe they got something to say here. And that incendiary will burn Mercury out of the firebox position, but he still hits one crazy headshot on Zaka. That's huge. That's just an insurance kill there to retain the man advantage. There's an immediate trade, but Jamyoung's got the elevated angle here. Great molly into a pull, which will force them whatever further. They are losing a couple of frags, but it is Mosaic to close it out. Triple kill for him. 10 double digits on the TYLOO T side.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with the second half of this first map of the grand final. Looks like it's going to be over pretty quickly, to be honest. TYLOO with a 10-round half is surely enough to close things out. Their map pick, their sort of go-to in this matchup, and also a lot of the time in regular games as well. So Linvision, I think, have to step up a little bit, otherwise I do start to get worried for Nuke, and, you know, them losing the lead in this series would be really dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. I do need to make sure they get a couple of rounds on the board here, just for a bit of their own confidence, of course. It's TYLOO who have played a bit of an official already today, of course, against the Huns, even though they couldn't complete it, the Huns. But, yeah, maybe Linvision coming in a little coming in a little bit colder. TYLOO have 3 sets of dualies here, dropped by Jamyoung and G, setting up Mercury, Attacker, and Mosaic. Even though Jamyoung is 19 and 7, he's willing to take the hits and drop the dualies to a teammate. Depends, of course, positionally where you are playing as to who gets those, you would think. Oh, hang on, we're making out in a smoke. Call me soon. Do you realise you're stuck on someone? No, you don't. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Mercury's got 3 kills as they try and come through the smoke toward Long, and Zaka actually got himself in through Arch. In the meantime, he's actually the one to get the trade in the end. Can you believe it?
I don't often give a yikes, but that's kind of a yikes. Lynn Vision making those mistakes in such a pivotal round, you know, could be the chance for them to somehow bounce back against all the odds, but it has been shut down before the dream even really comes to fruition or is even thought about. Amelia, 1 versus 4. They've got the bomb in their sights as well. They now know where he's at. So surely the convergence comes in. Somehow he survives that little foray at top middle, but he will eventually go down, you know, trying to take a kill or 2 before he darted off towards B, I'm sure. That's so crazy, Mercury, man. So insane. And it just sort of sums up the map, doesn't it? Lynn Vision can't catch a break right now.
And the timing of which that happens as well, right? It's not like he is behind the smoke and none of them check him. He actually is in the smoke, walks through it with them, and is one point holding hands with them. Like, literally perpendicular with the opponent. If that makes any sense. Crazy. Envision nothing going their way, like you say. 2 on the board. And they need this force buy to be a success, otherwise this game's over. This game will be done. 11-2. Will turn into 12-2, and they'll be on another force. Pretty similar to what they've got right here, so could be a speedy finish to Inferno.
Yeah, honestly, I think, you know, you're saying they need to win it. Otherwise, the game's going to be... I feel like it kind of is in the position of being over, even if TYLOO do concede a couple of rounds. I can't remember the last time I've seen, you know, a 10-11 round comeback.
Yeah.
So... going to be very, very tough. But they do have a bit of something planned here. The old CT push. There's a bit of a gap in the smoke. MP9's only good for 1, so only 1 between the 2 B defenders. And Starry, unfazed by the smoke spam, will indeed confirm the force by win. So Lynn Vision, they get this one in the bag, and TYLOO have to back off.
That's enough to piss you off, isn't it?
Sorry, so, yeah.
1 HP on the Deagle. G saw him, got the spray down, but another jiggle to avoid the last couple of bullets and an immediate headshot. Starry saving the game for his team. And as I said, like, if they didn't win that one, they would have been on a similar buy in the next. And they've got a free MP9, free M4. TYLOO will be saving their M4 and MP9. Will probably go for a force and response themselves. They can drop one. Or drop 1 MP9, sorry. Mercury will keep himself alive. But yeah, Lynn Vision, there's a chance it could turn into like an 11-5, 11-6, but you still do feel TYLOO are but a few minutes away from recovering the series to a 1-1.
Still, we start to talk about things pragmatically from that Lynn Vision stance, right? This is not your pick. You've got Nuke coming up next. Now feels quite risky. You know, it's a shaky map for both of these teams. So the fact that Lynn Vision picked it first gives the opportunity to TYLOO to pick up, you know, in a row. And then you are leaving those final few kind of a bit to the gods, you know what I mean? They get more of a chance, of course. So what you want here is to pick up some decent rounds and some decent momentum that you can then capitalize on into Nuke. Sort of chaos over here on the A bomb site. We do see an AK recovered. So the TYLOO weaponry not awful. Mercury does get caught just in and around the smoke there. Not really sure what to do with his position. Should be going down momentarily, and I think honestly, probably just take the AK into the next round if you're TYLOO.
Yeah, grab that AK and Scarpa. Jamyoung will have that Deeg. Will look for maybe something. There's Kevlar to save for him, and actually a smoke and a flash too, so it's probably worth keeping hold of that as well. But Envision starting to have something to say about this one. One of the best updates of all time to Counter-Strike. Different chickens. Very important to the game.
Of course. Iconic, even, some might say.
AK does go down. That's a problem. He's taken it. Good. I was going to say, I hope he could maybe grab it before the end of the round, and Jamyoung did. So all good.
Right. Feels like crunch time now. Lynn Vision, don't lose too many guns here. Keep the rounds rolling. Get them ground out, as is always the way on the T side. See what they've got in store. TYLOO going for a pretty heavy B stack here, and of course I've got that AK over there. Going to try and get him into the mixture. But they're going A, so always a classic. This is something we had a little thing, Neo and I, mostly Neo, kind of tracking force buys, right? Because the success rate of them very low and all that. I'm sure you've been in a few casts with him while he's doing that. I think we should maybe start tracking stacks, because I feel like they always go to the opposite bomb site. It's kind of crazy how unsuccessful, you know, eco stacks are.
Yeah, I've seen a few lately that can be... Okay, hang on a second. We've got a conversation here. Oh, Mercury. So close to finding Westman. That would have been the bomb dropped as well. Had to scupper and pick it up. Amelia, at the end, does finish off the round and sorts things out. But the flash there for TYLOO almost set up a crazy play for Mercury. But not anymore. Now he has to focus on the calling once again as the in-game leader. Not sure if this is one of the teams, TYLOO, of course, which have a different caller for CT side when it comes down to positions, which is better, right? You know, like Hunter on G2, for example. Many other teams do employ that. But, yeah, we'll see. G's got his AWP out. That's what matters. No utility available for him as he drops a gun over to a teammate. But they've got the utility they need overall. Lynn Vision now. This is where the task becomes a bit more difficult.
G. Not quite quick enough. Sticks around, risky. Oh my, and a
God.
Clean shot there from Westmelon. Amelia catching attacker in the side. So a bomb site compromised. Yes, they get one back, but again, nothing TYLOO can do. Immediate save. So we are seeing Lynn Vision compete, which is good, but there's still a long stretch of road ahead of them.
This is pretty much in a similar vein to what we've seen from TYLOO on all their Infernos, right? Whether it's been back at Pro League or domestically. They occasionally can have really good CT streaks, but it takes them a while to get going. And when they've got a big lead like this, you can be forgiven for playing a bit more defensive, a bit more safe. But I have seen them go into their shell a bit too much sometimes, and that is an issue. You need to close the game out. You can't just play too safe and let your opponents grow into the game. Get momentum, get money. Here is okay for TYLOO because they've saved 3 and got great util. I wonder if they're going to buy anything around attacker and G. I think they will a little bit. Maybe only a pistol on G if he wants a future AWP. But yeah, I think guilty of maybe being a little bit too defensive in the first few rounds of the half, especially after winning the pistol.
So while we're in like a middling round, it's a complete derail here, Trav.
Go on.
What do you think about the 100 men versus 1 gorilla argument?
Oh god, I've seen that meme around and about. I 100 men versus 1 gorilla. I think the 100 men would win.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. You're a man of logic.
Okay.
That was the answer I was looking for, and I think you are correct.
I saw one of those Instagram reels where it's like one of those video games where you pick like 10 million of one thing and it's like 1,000 of the other, and it was like 1,000 gorillas versus what 2 million men, and the 1,000 gorillas won on the game. So it's a lot of gorillas, and they're very powerful. So I think it might be enough.
Very powerful gorillas. Oh.
Okay, this is awkward because
this is awkward. The bomb.
Oh no, he's tapping down
god!
to the smoke again, Harvey. I'm scared.
God!
Oh, they lost the bomb on Arch. We're talking about gorillas, and the bomb is just jumping around in that awkward position. They're still not been able to pick it up yet. Look at the chip damage they're doing back and forth. Amelia will finally find G, but look at Mosea. He's going to swing from library and long. It's fallen apart.
We didn't need to derail it. They did it themselves. Absolutely insane. Holy hell. Oh, God. And just when things were going okay, listen, that round's not a complete shoo-in because you've got a few rifles in play. You know, certainly on a conventional setup, TYLOO still could have won it. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, it's very hard. It's a really tight choke point. There is an initial mistake made by that bomb carrier just getting a little too giddy, not thinking about the consequences. But it's other things, you know, Lynn Vision's still a bit tense. I think you just run in the smoke and run out, and you probably have a better chance of playing around that RNG. You might take some damage on the way, but you probably have a better chance of at least getting the bomb to a safer location.
Yeah.
So that it's easier to pick up for the next guy.
You know, as well, what's crazy there is I think, like, again, this is pretty, maybe a bit nitpicky, maybe an argument to be said here that is like, well, that's benefit of hindsight. It is. But he could have just, like, as you say, jumped and strafed around a bit, strafed onto the bomb, jumped and strafed again in like a U shape. That would have made him much, much harder to hit, right? So, yeah, listen, it's a bit overly critical perhaps, but they lost the round they shouldn't have lost, so that's maybe a fair assumption of it in the end. Mercury's pushing aggressive down, but no, probably should have got one more. And oh my god, it's a 1v1, and there's 1 minute 30 left on the clock. What the hell?
Absolutely insane. Call me Sue, trying to creep around here. You will hear him running away, so opts to go towards A instead. He's taking a lot of damage, of course, onto the AWP. Try and even up the playing field in some sense. Nice open plan. What do we do from here, he says. He's looking to hold this aggressive angle in at shore. Oh, the creep! It looked good, but Komisu catches the side of his head to just keep them alive for one more round.
Yeah, and if he didn't take the AWP there, that might have obviously gone the other way. Low HP, finding the AWP on the ground, taking the decision to swap to it on the low HP, and it works out perfectly for him. The two top fraggers for either team going up against each other in a 1v1 there. And Komisu will save LV's blushes for now. Crazy round. Loads of aggression down mid. Duels being won from Banana and in mid. And in second mid, actually, for a couple, I believe. Just a pure brawl as TYLOO look to do exactly what I kind of said I wanted from them, right? Push forward. Play on the front foot. Almost works for them, but not this time. And now money's not great. If they lose this round, we could be looking at a 12-9, but I've said that before.
Yeah, it just feels like the past few rounds have been so insane that when we get back to the normal Counter-Strike, that's maybe where TYLOO are able to just go through the motions. However, Amelia with swings like that, still not done yet, he says. Trade is there.
Mercury will re-find the M4. Now, Lynn Vision pushing as a 4 toward A. Right now, it would be the perfect call. Attacker is in pit, and he'd need to get 2 kills and stay alive for a long period of time. This is really awkward for TYLOO. Round's kind of lost if it stays as it is now.
Might be a hero here, though. Attacker, kind of a Yeah, well, we'll see. Could be playing after this if Attacker is able to hold. Sort of a gap-filling kind of player, not one that you usually expect to have that star power. He went unseen for a moment, but Westmelon gets the better of him. That'll be the save. And it's yet another round for Lynn Vision.
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile off, right? TYLOO gambled with a 3 over toward B. You can understand maybe why, because they want something to use in the following round, right? That's the thought process. If they go B, we can win and finish the game. If they go A, we save as 3 and have rifles to work with. But yeah, Attacker was never going to get more than 1 there, and in the end he got 0, unfortunately.
Pretty tense here. It seems to be an issue for TYLOO. It was much more abused yesterday, for sure, but closing the games out seems to be a big issue. This is now, 3 maps over the past 2 days that I've seen from them where they're in winning positions, and it's been a struggle. Like I said, they paid for it yesterday.
Yeah.
Not necessarily going to pay for it right now, but they could pay for it later on in the series if this keeps happening.
True. I've been keeping an eye on chat, by the way. It's an important round, so I won't dwell on it for too long. But it also does depend what type of man it is. Is it a UFC heavyweight fighter or average Joe? That needs to be clarified, I feel like, my friend.
I suppose.
If it was me, if it was like 100 of me, maybe we'd struggle.
I don't even think so. Like, gorillas, they're big, they're quite, tiresome. I've been schooled by a Twitter thread. Nice hold there at the top. We'll come back to the conversation. It's a very important conversation on anthropology or whatever, very scientific. G runs out of ammo. Unfortunate for him, does get traded out, leaves Mercury by himself at the back end of the site, so he has to be very careful here.
Yeah, Mercury needs his one at least to force a clutch out of one of Amelia or Zaka, and he might get 2 because they're not looking his way, and Mercury will hold the line. TYLOO eventually do get it over the line and confirm their map in this series. To confirm a 1-1. And now we wipe the site clean and consider the rest of the series a BO3. Absolute locks between these two, right? It's not one that only had that 1 rep on, like I mentioned. When it comes to other maps in the series, like Train, for example, that one feels like it'll always be Lynn Vision's. But look, if they lose Nuke and Ancient, the series is over. They need to find one of these two to guarantee an opportunity at Train, right? So yeah, and Lynn Vision, regionally, domestically, between all these teams they've played, lots of BO1s involved here, of course, but they are on a 20-match winning streak. Does include a few forfeits, does include some BO1s, like I say, quite majority BO1s, actually, but it's still a very significant winning streak. So can they continue it? We're going to see if they can get back into the lead in this series on Nuke, and the pistol, oh my goodness, is going awry. Westmelon was so blind. Finally, Starry and Call Me Sue will answer back, but there's all 2 players here, and maybe that won't even matter because G's dropped to Sue once again, and Jam Young needs to find timing to respond, but now he's the only one alive, and now they know where he is. Surely not much he can do here. 3 players have all repositioned. A great tap on Starry. Sue is low. They're peeking him 1 by 1 here. What's going on? Zaka, Dooley's picked up. No armor, by the way, but in the end, he repositions and takes a kill. And Lynn Vision will breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, fair play from above. It's always hard to hit those kinds of shots, and especially clean one-taps. But Lynn Vision, exactly what they needed, right? Coming into this second map, get yourself the pistol and just prove that you can and have a bit of control. It's been so long since they were in a winning position, since they were in a believable spot, right? Maybe super early on in Inferno, but didn't last very long. Tactical timeout coming in here from TYLOO. So they immediately want to respond. They have had some efficacy on these 4 spies across the course of the playoffs. So it does make a lot of sense, but yeah, I'm interested to know if this works out for them.
Yeah, they always seemed so dangerous on rounds like this, right? We saw it earlier. Envision losing the bomb in the smoke on Arch, and then, of course, other situations where the MP9s can just swarm while the pistols jump in. Looks like we're actually going for a sell here, though. Attackers brought up the Zeus, which indicates a full eco. Change their mind.
Yeah. Curious. Keep them guessing, you know. Never let them know your next move. The tactical depth of TYLOO knows no bounds.
5 Galils.
Well, they're expecting a force buy.
Exactly.
They're expecting armor.
On a single Mac 10 in sight.
Oh. Not sure that's where that's supposed to go.
Great smoke for top garage there.
Yes. It's certainly a region that, you know, fails smokes maybe a little more often than you would like. To be honest, I think yesterday we had a failed one by one of these teams on Train, I think it was, which you might let them off the hook on Train because it is a newer map, right? It might only be like the 10th time you've done that lineup. Yeah. Or, I don't know, Nuke, Garage. Can't be serious, guys. Come on.
Great crosshair placement from Westmelon there. Finding Moser as well. An attacker with the Zeus. Can't switch to it just yet because he's been seen. Now he's just hoping they're going to chase him down. Being a bit of a troll right now as attacker. Do they know he's a Zeus enjoyer? Can you see? Don't get too close, my friend. There we go. I figured it out. All 5 alive for Lynn Vision. That's a bit of a relaxing round for them. Bit of a settler. TYLOO will go for their buy on round 3. So utility will be a little bit limited.
Indeed. Got pause coming in. Never a positive sign. We've obviously had some pretty severe technical issues today already. Not from this series, to be fair. But I'd quite like the Counter-Strike to get started, and this is where the real Counter-Strike does indeed begin, with a round like this and a buy like this for both of the sides. No one seems to have dropped out. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we have had one on the Envision side of things.
Because you've got 2 Zackers. That's the telltale sign.
And it was Amelia earlier as well, actually, if you remember.
Yeah.
So that's not great. That's not great. And who knows, maybe affecting part of the Lynn Vision game. You know? TYLOO have done something to the infrastructure. It's about as far as I'll go, because I think the sort of Twitch chat conspiracy theorists will actually believe me. Just a joke, guys.
I have dug a little bit deeper into the lovely world of our admins who are hard at work, and I believe that was a ping issue. So shouldn't be too bad long term. But if it is if it has been happening over the course of the map, then maybe you're right. Maybe that is hampering Call Me Sue ever so slightly, or Amelia, sorry.
Yeah, well, he did. He dropped out for a little while on the first map, like right at the beginning. So, you know, it could just be something to do with connectivity and whatnot. Sometimes they just don't quite get.
Yeah.
When everyone's joining at the same time, you know, the ports can get a bit messed up on servers like this, I believe. So, yeah, hopefully all good. We are back into the action for this round, and long may that continue. We would say touch wood here in the UK. Knock on wood in America, man. Not quite sure. Yeah, I don't rightly get it. I don't understand how wood would be lucky.
Yeah, whenever my mother does it, I just tell her off. And like, that won't do anything, Mum. Come on now.
Yeah. But I don't know. It is also strange that, you know, the other anglicized nation in the world says knock on wood.
Yeah.
You know. So, don't know what's happened there.
Right. First gun round for TYLOO here. No kit, limited utility. As I said, that's what happens when you buy on round 3. Can Lynn Vision take advantage of that? They survived with all 5 alive in the previous round, so that means they've kept their 5 Galils. Not a bad weapon without a shadow of a doubt, but not a singular AK. Who knows? Could come back to bite them if they only hit a few dinks. There are 3 sets of helmets on TYLOO. Nice setup toward ramp here. Amelia's going to go for a swing. Should find a bullet from G, and G will hold the line for 2. Jam Young now will be able to help out. Zaka won't give him the pleasure of helping out. They'll move back away, and the push towards Secret will come through, and Moselle will get destroyed by Westmiller. Maybe that is a slight glimmer of hope in this one.
Very possible. They're trying to completely reapproach the round. Try and get some upgraded weaponry and whatnot. Another find from Starry. It's Zaka, of course, who is upstairs with the bomb, ready to go. I think he was just spotted. I think that's like a bit of a mini-map spot. But then maybe not, because they've not started moving down, you know, hurriedly or anything like that. So, bomb plant going to go down here. 5 versus 3, turn 3 versus 3. Very winnable round. Very, very winnable indeed. No real utility to speak of from either side. No kit for TYLOO, of course. And the B-bomb site is pretty tough to retake here, especially with a lack of information. So I think they're waiting for a peek to come from somewhere, but it's just not quite happening. There it is.
Yeah.
Zaka catches Jam Young surprised. I think you have to back off now. No way you're going to get it. And Lynn Vision, pull that one out the hat.
Bit of a day late retake there. Now they're $1 short as well. And there's a chance, actually, they could be forcing them to go down. Surely Attacker doesn't stay alive toward the back of the boxes here. Oh, my goodness. He actually manages to find one more kill. Zaka was very stationary there. I am wondering if he either crashed or timed out there. That was very awkward for him, just not moving at all. But no, he's in the game. Just surprising that he stood still and didn't run his opponent down. But it's all good. Envision will make sure TYLOO don't save a single thing. And now in the following round, we're going for some kind of like weird half investment here for TYLOO. We've got 2 MP9s, a FAMAS that's brought down to 350, and a Scout and a Deagle. That is very mixed, let's say.
Yep, for sure. And also mixed from like an economic perspective. So, bit of head loss here from TYLOO, potentially. Or is it? Mercury hiding away in the corner. There's such hard angles to clear here. They will take him, but he's got 1.5. That's kind of decent. Tags here from Call Me Sue are going to be so valuable. Deagle in the equation. Doesn't really land too much, but we'll see. G manages to find... a very clean shot there, able to survive as well. 4 on 3 now in favor of TYLOO. The unlikely round is kind of happening. Quick trade downstairs. Just got to be careful not to get taken down. Jam Young catches Zaka on the edge of the smoke. It is all on to Westmelon. 1 versus 3 overall. Definitely doable, certainly with that shot. Okay, we are on, and he has got the read. Attacker, don't do it. Don't do it. You got to wait patiently here. Westmelon's going to tap the bomb and move away. It's a lovely fake idea. Where is he going? Headed towards B, potentially. Could go heaven, even. You know, he has a real drop on this situation. That being said, he's heard. Taka gets down the vent pretty quickly. And I think some of the element of surprise has been lost by Westmelon.
Door open. Now he knows exactly what Attacker is going for. Crazy mind games in this 1v1 between Attacker and Westmelon. 3 kills, needs 4. Attacker's got no kit. That makes it very difficult, and Westmelon will just peak on the timing. Perfect spray. Lynn Vision very much in control of Nuke there. And listen, that play to fake the bomb and walk into hut immediately was actually just so chill, dude. He looked like he was so ready to make that move. Like, it didn't look like he second-guessed himself in any way, shape, or form. And it works out brilliantly. Just wasn't a fair fight in the end, with the positioning in the afterplant, with Attacker kitless.
Yeah, very clever. Very, very clever indeed. And I think that, you know, you and I are both behind a move like that. So something unorthodox in the 1 versus 1. Nuke is a great map for clutches as well. So much potential for creativity. Good to watch, of course, but from a player perspective, it just feels like you have so many different options. So they will take that. And I mean, giving TYLOO a taste of their own medicine here, locking them out completely in the first 4 rounds.
Probably not a long pause here for TYLOO. That was, as I say, the sort of weird investment for them. Actually, I say, you know, it may be a bit questionable, but they did have enough money to buy what they wanted in the end, as you can see, right? In the following round, loss bonus is being built up. They can afford to buy down a little bit lower. They can drop the AWP to G. And last time these two played on Nuke, it was pretty much only G who put in a ridiculous performance. In vain, unfortunately. That was in the major qualifier. Lost it 13-10. G dropped 26, and I don't think any teammate got any more than 15. Both these teams, of course, will be in attendance at the major. The Invision will be at Dallas as well. So 2 trips to America for them.
In towards ramp. Jam Young ready to go. Almost the double for him. Not quite. Trade is there from G. So TYLOO thriving as the pace has been lifted by Linvision. Attacker holding the single door, but Linvision have to go back to the board. And unfortunately not looking good. Very split here and just no real presence in this round. Westmelon has potentially thread through, found a gap, but attacker's position is quite good to still catch this kind of play. Maybe not quite. Westmelon looks to get the drop on him here and will do indeed. And now, all of a sudden, they find themselves in a very good spot. Bomb going to go down. Zaka gets another. We're down to the 2 versus 2.
Oh dear, this is a great mid-round from Linvision. I mean, Westmelon got himself into a perfect position, but now again he needs to be the man to clutch. 1 versus 2. Knows that both are coming from, I do believe. Gets the angle, and now it's a 1v1. He can reposition. He's on damage to Mercury. He's still full HP, and he's faking the footsteps, and he wins the clutch again. Triple kill for Westmelon. He is in the minds of TYLOO right now, and there's nothing they can do about him.
Just ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. How is he getting away with it? Yeah, very, very unfortunate, I suppose, that this is the way that it goes. But nonetheless, Linvision, Westmelon in particular, firmly taking matters into his own hands. Really, really good stuff.
And you know what's crazy about that clutch as well is that the damage that Westmelon does through the edge of the vent when he was trying to spray down both when they were coming through mini, that damage actually wins him that clutch because he survives on like 10 HP at the end. If Mercury was any healthier, I reckon Mercury wins that. So small margins in Counter-Strike, once again proving to be the difference in a big round.
Looking good into this one as well, as they will take the first 2. They got downstairs under wraps. So, should be decent here, and of course it looks like they're going to be hitting that B-bomb site. The TYLOO contingent remains far away. Might even just throw themselves into a save. Jam Young with no armor really has no reason to save, so he's here quite early. Nothing happens for him, and you could give it a look. You could try and go for it, but I do feel like every little helps in this kind of 6-0 game that we're now looking at.
For sure. Attacker and Mosea, as you say, rightly saving what they've got, but Linvision, it deserves to be mentioned that Westmelon's clutches have kind of given them extra rounds as well, right? It's not like it's just one round. It's the fact that they've been on a low investment in the round immediately after. It's keeping Lynn Vision trucking. Keeping them with a clean sheet. Starry up to 8. Westmelon 10 and 2. Looking impenetrable right now on T side.
Terrorists win.
And those clutches mean a lot, don't they? Because if it's 2 for those rounds going TYLOO's way, they've got 2 and Lynn Vision have got 4. It's a completely different game. Now it's a lot of solid rounds on T side, especially on Nuke for LV. Westmelon once again doing all that he can for this team.
Okay, let's see. TYLOO gonna have to start showing us something, otherwise it will indeed be a reverse of what they've just done. And a very quick second map here. Attacker, up close and personal. Oh my god, greedy! For the AK. Clear out the angles, my man. And then get the AK. Goodness gracious. Can't shoot anyone if you're looking at the floor, you know?
I haven't seen much madness from both teams other than in the clutches, so an early round change up there. A slow walk outside with 40 on the clock for the plant. They've got plenty of utility, but they just don't want to give up any information to TYLOO so far. And G will take Call Me Sue because of the lack of that util. There's a lurk toward door, actually, I should say. But they are going to, off the back of that kill, make that move and go down together. Through secret, but Mazer's found Westmelon and a good rotation down the vent. Mercury will go down, and Mazer, though, he's doing it all. It's now Starry's turn to try and clutch, but this one is the most difficult out of all of them, and Jamyoung will complete that kill in the end. Finally, TYLOO off the 0 mark on Nuke. And here's our opening kill you were speaking about. The jump down with the HE, the combination. It's what got the round off to an important start for them. Set the tone.
Yeah, very solid stuff. Really, really needed for TYLOO. We'll see if they can make this half serviceable or not. Jamyoung, ready for a play. Oh, lovely bit of movement. Lovely bit of movement, of course, even while in the smoke, man. Very well done. 2 for 1 for him, but keeping them firmly pushed back. And that's going to make it hard for Lynn Vision to really find anything into this round. Yes, it looks like, okay, there might be an area that's a bit vulnerable, but where is that? You know, where do we put our resources? I really do not know. Oh, the slow creep forwards. Attacker is here on the angle, ready to go. Nice find onto the first. Not quite corrected for the second. Important frag. Here we go again. Westmelon working his way down with the bomb is a very cheeky move. He's loving life right now on Nuke. He's just doing, you know, crazy, wacky plays. And this is a very strange game state. 1 versus 1 directly down here. He's not going to take it. And then there's a player flanking the player that's flanking. So, but now he's not anymore. He's actually going to go vent.
You still got this flank on flank here, and G was aware of that for a possible second there, but Sue is just going to take that one every day of the week. Lynn Vision just in the minds of TYLOO. Westmelon is playing a absolutely god-tier game here. Mercury was miles away. Will the end just go for a save, pick up as much utility as he possibly can. He's got a full belt to save now, so it's definitely worth keeping hold of that. Wish he would have gone for it if he had time, but not to be. Westmelon will just get that one extra kill. I think it was Mosea who was next to Squeaky Door there, who hit the dink. But the Dink was through the wall. TYLOO start the round like that, get a 5v3, then eventually a 4v2, as you can see here, but it's another big advantage they've let slip. Not the first, and it feels like it won't be the last either.
Yeah, it's really quite difficult to watch at a certain point. I think this is 3 rifle rounds that have gone like that. Maybe even 4. So, yeah, really, really questionable stuff, to say the least. You want a bit more than that from TYLOO, and they should have, yeah, easily 3 rounds right now, you know, which would be a very different looking half. But that is not the case. So they're kind of in a position already of like, look, if they don't win this map, I think that's fair. I'm not sure that they deserve to unless they can pull off something really incredible. Jamyoung 1 for 1. G not quite brave enough to go swinging around the corner, which is fair enough, but the push on ramp has been stopped.
The 1 for 1 for Jamyoung wasn't as clean as he would have liked. If the first kill would have come through a bit faster, maybe he could have adjusted and got the transfer on the second. And then it would have given G even more time to actually get that frag in from hell. It's the classic CT Nuke ramp 1-2 punch. And Mercury playing behind the smoke. Oh, it could be 3 kills for him. We'll just hold down mouse. Well, of course he will. And guess who's here as well? Mosaic is with him. And that should be a good change up from TYLOO to finally confirm a big advantage here. Starry doesn't know where the second player is, but he does know now, and unfortunately he's taking way too much damage to make this clutch doable. Like every single clutch is doable for Lynn Vision in this game so far, but this one certainly isn't. Good hold from Mosaic and Mercury, playing it together perfectly. 2 kills apiece. Here it is.
All right. So we're still, you know, not quite over just yet. I think they're right on the cusp of a weaker half, you know. So hopefully this is kind of where it stops for Lynn Vision and where TYLOO can close that gap. But Lynn Vision are aware of all these factors and they've taken that immediate timeout, right, to just keep TYLOO where they are.
Right thing to do for sure. Even if you've got a big lead, don't rush into anything. Make your decision with the economy. As you can see, they're actually going for a full force here. It'll be slightly surprising as we're getting toward the end of the half, but there we are. TYLOO have a chance for 5, and if they get 5 from here, they'd be absolutely delighted after the half they've had. 2 clutches that probably shouldn't have gone against them. That one for Westmoreland where he did damage through the corner of the vent, and that damage in the end proved to be the difference maker in the drawn-out 1v1 against Mercury. 2 big clutches for the captain of LV.
Keep them coming here. Keep them coming all game long. Make things interesting going into the next map. You know, the threat of loss for TYLOO, I think, would make for a pretty big game. Starry moving across quite quickly. Mosaic is going to be down here, ready and waiting. Main crux of the team going for the vent dive. Just to try and distract Mosaic, it seems, but it's not how it goes. He's got the head on a swivel. And he will indeed keep control. So 5 versus 2. Never counting Lynn Vision out in these situations. Oh no.
Oh, God.
No. Come on. Come on, man. 5 versus 2 turn 2 versus 2 in about as many seconds. Absolutely ridiculous. G moving in on the AWP. Not really the ideal weapon for this one. Will thankfully spot the player out before it all goes south. However, Mosaic just needs 1 more for the ace clutch. Saka, we'll see here. He's picked it up. Very, very dangerous move. Oh my goodness. Gonna get it done on the AWP. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. 5 versus 2. And this man just kills all 5 of them.
Oh, add it to the list. Add it to the list of blunders from TYLOO on CT here. It was so comfortable for them. They would just add 2 players walking through Hutton door. That was it. Zaka headshots, all 3 of them on A. Timings, G. I honestly, I'm very surprised G doesn't just pull out his pistol there as he makes his way toward Mini. I can understand. Listen, we've got the map. He doesn't. You know where he is, but I would love to see him just pull out the pistol and have a chance in that duel versus Zaka. And then Zaka going for the AWP. Right play to make. Low HP. He's the AWPer anyway. Jiggle out. Immediate flick. Textbook ace from Lynn Vision. Zaka. And once again, right, just... Oh, TYLOO will be kicking themselves. I said a possibility of a 7-5, but you can't legislate for rounds like that.
Absolutely wild, isn't it? And I don't know, it's after 1 or 2, you're like, ah, man, unlucky. You know, and you can kind of look to other factors. Once you're losing rounds like that, and then, I mean, rounds like this that follow it up,
yeah,
you only really have yourself to blame, right? You have to look internally at a certain point. So, and they're not going to do that objectively and cleanly. They're going to do that from quite a sort of bemoaned position of like, oh, I can't believe we're losing. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, this, you know, watching your teammates die and all that. Many tilting factors get involved, and it's not good. It is not good at all. So Lynn Vision maybe going to show TYLOO how it's done with a clean closeout of this second map. And then God knows what to expect moving into the next.
Well, this is a great bounce back either way, right? I think Mazay will just about survive, yes he will, to the bomb and to any enemies chasing him down. But considering what went down on Inferno, TYLOO were very much in control throughout the duration of the map, then did their usual bit of, I guess, fall away on CT side. Here they started CT and they've only got 2 from it when it should have probably been 5, honestly. Think about the rounds they've lost overall. Invision have a chance to get double digits on T. Just confirm and relax themselves, settle back into a 2-1 lead in the series. A chance for a 3-1 win. The way to go yet, but look at the buy that TYLOO have to put together. 2MP9, Scout's already down. And there goes an M4 as well of Mercury. Starry's just run outside, taken both immediately. The individuals are truly stepping up for Lynn Vision on this map as well. It's not just the fact that TYLOO throwing these man advantages. Zaka's had the ace. Starry's up to 15. Westmoreland's had 2 clutches up to 12. Now TYLOO want one of their own. They want a 3v5 of their own. They deserve it, for goodness sake.
Westmoreland maybe locks this one in. We'll see. Bit of presence out towards heaven, and then presence moving back, so it's like the reverse A crunch. This is the kind of round where you maybe look to it and go, okay, unlucky for TYLOO, just, you know, outread, wrong place, wrong time. Not much can be done, but, you know, they have had some pretty egregious ones so far in this half. It's going to be Mosaic. 1v4. Doesn't even get the first. 10-2. Goodness me, a weird, you know, alternate timeline here on Nuke. It is Lynn Vision that are the ones that find the advantage. And they are looking to close things out, take us to that third, and maybe even take the grand final on that Pro League spot. We're going to take a quick break. Back soon.
double-digit T-side for Lynn Vision. Every single close round clutch going their way. And TYLOO will be left reeling from that. We're expecting Lynn Vision to get the few rounds they need on CT to confirm a 2-1 lead in the BO5. Reminder, of course, they had a 1-0 lead coming in from that upper bracket. By default, TYLOO evened it up and basically made it a BO3 by winning Inferno. And we'll have Ancient after this, if necessary. Of course, other maps in the pool as well. Possibility of Train if we get to a 5th map decider. That would be very exciting, knowing what's gone before, of course, on Train between these two. But Lynn Vision have got the better of TYLOO on most occasions here. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this one's going to pan out. I'm expecting it to be a Lynn Vision win. I know you picked TYLOO. But, yeah, it's I only picked Lynn Vision because it's fun to go against your co-caster. So, there you go.
Well, I suppose there's also like a fair argument. You know, you can definitely stand behind it.
I know.
But yeah, I think that's why it's such a good matchup, because it is difficult to know at the moment. It is Lynn Vision sided, it seems, but very close yesterday. Surely this time in Askin, you would assume. But Lynn Vision looking to clear things up here and now. So far, so good. Just 1 kill. Mosaic does well to take out the Julies in the back. Hold on. Going to give them a taste of their own medicine in terms of the clutch. Yeah, he might do. He might do. Picks up 3 in very quick succession here. 4 in total. Looking for the ace. I think this is a 1 versus 4 as well. Definitely a 1 versus 3. It was all a bit chaotic for a moment. But he has brought them into a winnable position to just make things annoying for Lynn Vision, if anything. Trying to get away. Does eat a bullet there. Sticks around and gets it done with the Glock. The ace clutch coming in. And TYLOO have bought some time, courtesy of Mosaic.
Is that our 3rd ace of the day in the
I
BO5?
think so, sir.
That's we had
2 of them in the pistol.
True. We've had an ace per map, basically, so far. That's crazy. And of course, 2 in this one. 1 from Zaka, now 1 from Mosaic. A rare occurrence in Counter-Strike. Incredible stuff. And yeah, Mosaic purely giving his team a lifeline there. Something to work with on T-side, maybe. But they've got to avoid the force first. Scout, long range, outside. Very scary on Zaka's back. Deagles and MP9. Combination of 1 scout tag and 1 Deagle shot is terrifying.
Couple taps. Nothing landing as yet. Lynn Vision pretty outside facing force by here. So they're happy for a scrap, as you would be at 10-3, right? Just kind of looking for a favourable round. Couple opening Deagle headshots. There's 1. Give me 1 more. Maybe I start to believe. Starry having a great game. Oh no, Zaka in with the scout. As I said, outside centric, very confident for these fights. Starry does go down. So maybe some game management here from Lynn Vision would be good. Just don't lose anyone else. Retain that advantage. However, slightly more excitable than we would like for some of these fights. Mosai's in way earlier than they expected. He doesn't actually get a kill. Nade goes in. Good damage. But it's very much on as this bomb goes down.
Yeah, it's good information for attacker there. He spotted 1 in hell and 1 in heaven, so and you could force their way through onto the site. Attacker's actually repositioned to a great spot as well. As Westmoreland clear close left properly? He does. Oh, it's a beautiful shot as well. Now Mosaic and G need to hold. Barely any utility between the 2 of them, but doesn't matter when you've got a Mac 10 and hit shots like that. Comfortable for Mosaic. Westmoreland's got a Galil picked up, and he'll fall back and save it because he can drop that Deagle to a teammate, and they have a little bit more to work with in this following round. TYLOO find a way. 4 rounds has been reached.
Very, very close. But indeed, they will find themselves in keen position. Just a few more from TYLOO. Again, you know, make Lynn Vision work for it, as they had to for their Inferno. And it often is the first round of a, you know, decisive half moving into that second half. Trying to get the first round can be a challenge. So TYLOO could really keep them down. You're on that CT side as well. Economy becomes a sort of 6th opponent that you have to work against. So it is early. I am bigging it up. But there is a world in which TYLOO just keep them under the cosh the entire way.
Yeah, but you are playing against the best team in China right now. I think it's fair to say, with their 20-match win streak. Sure, a lot of BO1s, a lot of domestic matchups, but you can't argue with it. See if they've got anything to say on Nuke, or if Lynn Vision can confirm this one in their books. Sue is hiding in the vents, and won't be able to do anything. Good catch by Mercury. They've got full control around the B site. There is a good rotation coming in here from Lynn Vision, and that Galil is in play on Westmoreland near the glass position here, but unfortunately his timing is not good at all. Creeps in at a bit of a weird angle. Doesn't really work. Tackle deal with Starry and Zaka as well. That's all 5 players staying up for TYLOO. Good money in the bank, as you mentioned. They can keep resetting Lynn Vision. Then there's a chance. Now Zaka AWP is out. They've got a full buy available. This is where the test begins if you're TYLOO.
Yes, absolutely. Their first sort of big round here. You know, they're here off the back of an individual play as well from Mosaic. So can they rely on that? Can they work around that, you know, and have a bit more of a team-centric round? I do feel like T-side Nuke pretty good in the Asia, particularly Chinese region. So there is a world where TYLOO net a few, but as I'm getting those words out, Amelia finds that first kill a bit too easily for my liking.
Yeah. Zaka set up toward ramp. Looks like Mosaic wants to go for a push, but there will be a bit of a jiggle, and that will give Zaka the information to be ready for the swing, and it's a good reaction on G as well. Peeking one by one into an AWP there, not advisable, and Zaka will punish them for it. It's fallen apart. 5v2. I don't see TYLOO being able to recover it as many of these as Lynn Vision did. Attack will peek ahead of that smoke. That's going to be a good timing. Gets a quick headshot. I think he sees the Heaven player. Harry doesn't know much about Starry. Will now. He actually has been given an opportunity to get another headshot here, Attacker. Maybe I'll eat my words. And dive down the vent with the bomb. He's got opportunity to join up with Jam Young down there. They don't have a smoke to block off Zaka, though. That's the biggest issue. They've got flashes and they've got a molly. A good little bit of a fake out, though. And another big advantage is being recovered. Zaka will get caught. Jam Young with a crispy headshot. And despite the lack of a smoke, headshots will better all. Unfortunately, now it's all down to Jam Young 1v2. Can he pull one off?
We are about to find out. Bomb planted. In a good spot. No kit. Amelia low. Should have called the bluff. Should have called the bluff. He thought about it. He really did think about it, you know, and just not made a sound. Waited for that second tap. It doesn't happen. You see how close it is. He only needed maybe 2 more seconds. And then the kill on the guy that's not expecting him. And that could have been enough. But he gives in to his instincts. And it's exactly what they wanted.
It's so tempting, though, isn't it, to open the door, grab the kill on the diffuser, and then just close the door again immediately and play time. You know, you've kind of won the round if that's the path you're able to take. But, yeah, not possible. Good recovery from Lynn Vision, considering what went before. The recovery down to the 2v2. Nice shots being hit by Mosaic and Jam Young. And especially Attacker, to be fair to him. So 2 kills toward A. And he's going in for more here. Stopped by Sue immediately, though. This time, no way through those smokes. Try and take aggressive control. Zaka will get another one as well. With Attacker and now Mosaic dropping outside. Jam Young may have got significant progress in toward Mini here. And Sue, looks like he wants to swing it. Looks like he wants to give it a glance. It would be a clean 1v1 because there's no one else really near him right now. Good Molotov. It forces him into the open. That finally comes through from Mercury. Westmoreland in toward Heart. Great clear from G. That's the real back-breaking kill. And with Jam Young finding Amelia, we should be going a few more rounds here on Nuke. 6 is around 40 seconds away.
Yeah, pretty tough, man. Pretty tough. I mean, again, if they'd won out the clutch situation, they really would be flying high right now. But not the case. So, yeah, that is very unlucky indeed, but we shall see if TYLOO again can, at the moment, just get momentum for the next map and, you know, have something to write home about here. Still not quite on 12, that's kind of what I always say, and, you know, said and go with 15. If you can keep them off of that risk, you have just the one round where you can make a slip up, yeah? If you're playing really good Counter-Strike, but you get an unfortunate moment or an unfortunate timing or something like that, you have that sort of RNG contingent round. But if you let them get to 12 early, it does then become way, way harder to mount the comeback.
Quick pause, cancelled. Lynn Vision have a half investment here. Sue is a CZ enjoyer. I will say, I still think you are borderline trolling if you're not using the 5-7 over the CZ. But there we are. It has looked good for some players in recent times. I think we saw I think there was a player in a different online tournament recently that got a really insane quad kill with a CZ.
Just taking it slow here, TYLOO, expecting something to come their way, and there is kind of a play happening. 3 players in secret. Very unorthodox, probably very unexpected. One after the other. Molotov forces Starry forwards. He's traded. This is where they just have to be careful. They seem to have an inkling that something is going on. Might have heard a couple ticks of a molly at the very least. So Mercury will take his time clearing this one out. Maybe it's a round that Lynn Vision like going for. He's expecting a bit more here, but not really sure of where Zaka is. He's a bit chunky round that corner, so well played in the end. Mercury clears out the stack.
Yeah, hiding in plain sight there, Zaka. Very unlikely he was going to be able to get away with the kill there. Amelia tapping away with the 5-7 though. Westman's actually managed to find one and pick up an AK. Now it's a bit dangerous. That's a huge kill from Attacker. If Westman had found that one, there was actually a world where it could have gotten out of hand, but not the case. TYLOO, 7 on the board, as you say, keeping Lynn Vision off of 12. Thought for a second that TYLOO might want to try and shuffle that AWP away outside, make sure it's not picked up. It wasn't. Didn't need to do that. Had the control towards secret with 3 players. No chance of any CT pushing up and grabbing it. So no save potential. And now, the gun round. Lynn Vision have everything they possibly want. Reminder, of course, all these ESL Challenger Leagues over the course of the last few months. So many games have been played, so many BO1s, so many playoff BO3s. Once the tournament is over and all the VRS points are accurately calculated, of course we have predictions thanks to HLTV, but there's going to be a huge injection of points for both these two, win or lose. But only the team who wins will get that spot at ESL Pro League. Can Lynn Vision give themselves a trip to Dallas, Austin Major, and ESL Pro League this year? That would be a great result for them.
Yeah, really could be fantastic. Zaka has opened up here, so looking to solidify it. Make it more and more likely. Can he get any more on this AWP? They're teasing him. Oh, now he's definitely seen the player, so it's all about the trigger discipline.
Oh.
Down there, Amelia wins a sort of random 1v1. AWP shot is missed and Zaka goes down, but it still looks pretty good. And with Amelia down below, they have this sort of line of defense. He will fall. I don't think he's necessarily bought enough time for the rotation, so TYLOO could steal this one away.
Yeah, it's a bit of an error there. Not realising that second player was going to come through from ramp and get an easy trade. Stuck in the open, took a lot of damage, does go down, does Amelia. So now, Jamyoung, Mazaya, and G. G's given the AWP over to Mazaya. 9 HP, of course, fine with that AWP. Jamyoung looking ready to swing on a timing. Once he hears one of these players stomping toward him, Starry and Westman are together. Go for the swing and take the kill. Westman does find Mazaya in the meantime, though. Nade throw. Does that force a peek from Jamyoung? It does, sort of, but Westmelon will find it. It's now all down to G with the AK. Stuck in dark, finds the first, but tagged down to 21. Su's trying to run him down, will run him down, but there's no time for the defuse. Kit on the floor, but he's still not going to be able to get it in time. Oh, if he had the kit already picked up, he would have won the round, but it's not to be.
That is pretty damn tough for Lynn Vision. Could be a key turning point. You know, keep your eyes on what unfolds from here. Very, very, very scary indeed, as they will find themselves in a position of gap closure. TYLOO have not fully broken the bank, but they've put Lynn Vision down to the half bite. This is where I think we need to be trained in on our screens. Get it on the main monitor and make sure you are keeping up here, because this could certainly go the distance on Nuke. One more rifle round is all that separates TYLOO from an even scoreline, but with a headshot like that to open up, we might not even get there.
I'm going to go for the boost on toward ramp as well. That's a great call. Of course, that AK can't be retrieved, so they're going to have to do it with a deco. Lynn Vision. Oh, we're walking ramp. We are walking ramp. There's an opportunity for this crossfire to do serious damage here. Zaka's going to pop his head up and will continue to hide. Are they aware of that possibility? There could be a second player. Molotov won't stop Zaka. It's a stunning headshot, and that one kill will completely take their attention away from Amelia. It's a headshot on G, and it's fallen apart to the deco. We thought the last round had a good opportunity. This one now, you'd think, just how Counter-Strike works, isn't it? Of course, it's this round, which is the one which they find a way to get on 12. 2 AKs retrieved. There's 34 seconds in the round, and Jamyoung and Mercury are not even attempting it by the looks of things.
Wow. Yeah, listen, when you're winning rounds like that, you come close to winning the previous as well, then you are absolutely deserved of the map. Just playing like the better side, bit more coordinated, individuals kind of all pulling their weight, to be honest. So, yeah, there's really no excuse for TYLOO. You're in this tight spot. This is supposed to be the round where you keep it together and, you know, don't let silly mistakes happen. But we have a slight overface early on. We have a disjointed trade attempt. So, yeah, TYLOO just really not impressing in this map. It's like they're just running in dry. Yeah. You know, there's pretty chunky belts of utility that still remain. You've already lost a player to a dry walk-up that's a bit lackadaisical, and then you're just charging in. Like, at least make an attempt to flash something or molly something. So it's kind of wild. They, again, only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, it's disappointing the way that one goes awry. Not the first time they've lost a round that should have gone their way. And honestly, it's pretty crazy, right? They'll be looking back at this game and thinking to themselves, right, well, if we won, let's say 2 or 3 of the 5 or 6 rounds we should have won, we could be in an even scoreline here. Could be 10-10 rather than 8-12. But that's all shoulda, coulda, woulda, and if, buts, and maybes. This is reality. Starry. In single, TYLOO have found something in this round via a pretty crazy rush with the Tech-9 outside from Jamyoung. That got 1 kill. G will react for that one as well. And of course, they're just going to hit straight back, naturally. So the game's not over yet, but giving up 12 to Lynn Vision does make you think it could be a matter of time. There is a good save option here for Lynn Vision, because if they do keep the Zaka AWP and the Su AK, then they can drop a couple of weapons as well, and they'll have everything they want.
Yeah, and it is kind of tedious, isn't it? You know, they have some pretty nice rounds, and then we've just had a couple of rounds where they've dropped to silly situations and a couple clutches and things like this. Especially with what happened in the first half. TYLOO would have won this game by now. Yeah. If they had not lost all those 4v2s and 5v3s and stuff like that, you know? So, kind of wild to think that they have just been clawing their way into this game and sort of have maybe had, like, more advantageous situations or more like XG, XR. Yo, can we bring that in as a stat? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Nobody steal that idea. I'm gonna get Nero on the blower.
Yeah.
And,
copyright that. Copyright
XR,
that.
mate. But you know, it's still something that you would expect TYLOO to be able to clean up, and they have let them slip.
Yeah, it's like there are percentage win rates, right? I think available for rounds
Yeah,
one when you're
it's true.
5v3 and 5v2 and stuff, right?
But maybe as like a quick stat to just sort of go on the HLTV scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know.
XR for TYLOO this game, 13. They should have won the 13
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. No, it's gonna be like, you know, kind of negative or whatever. It's gonna be XR
actually. Yeah,
17 rounds.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
Good point. Westmelon playing behind the smoke towards Squeaky. Mosaic could put a few bullets through this and give Westmelon a little bit of a shock, but no, they'll avoid it for now. Smoking toward that mini position now. Also in towards CT vent. Looks like TYLOO are going for an A split here, but Westmelon is so well set up for it. Jamming will go down. Amelia finds Mercury, and Westmelon continues to jiggle out the timing to get Sue into action, and it helps out Starry to get into position as well. It's all down to G. This buy is not going the way he would have wanted, and Sue will finish it off. The team that was in the lead throughout the whole of the map will get it done. 13-9, and they're one map away from ESL Pro League.
Yeah, absolutely insane, to be honest with you, as we were just sort of touching on there. And as we're going to see in the highlights, you know, keep your eyes on the sort of...
Of course, this is a team that kind of captured the hearts of the community, especially G at the last season of ESL Pro League. His personality was infectious and kind of just like made everyone smile whenever you saw him say anything to the either to the camera during the game or to the camera after the game. And unfortunately, now he has to do it the real hard way if we want to see that again on LAN.
That is true. And we'll see his kind of emotion was, I think, very, very valuable and very useful to TYLOO at Pro League. Sometimes, though, felt like he maybe let it out a bit too much, and, you know, he had a very emotional sort of finish to Pro League where he felt like he cost his team a bit too much in their final series. So we'll see. I wonder what that G is saying behind the scenes here. Mosaic to lead the charge. A wild attempt from Zaka to stop them coming in. P2K of Call Me Sue. Strong for one. And through the smoke, Mosaic goes down. So sort of a lucky frag. Lovely little move there into the cave to just get rid of that problem. Digits being tapped in, but the smoke is going to dissipate soon. Gee, the 2D targets gets taken down. The headshots are coming in thick and fast now. It's all on Jamyoung. Certainly one of their stronger pistol players. Running low on ammo. Yeah, had to be selective with the shots, and that lets him down.
Couldn't connect, as you rightly say. When you're low on ammunition, you have to be a little bit extra careful and try and judge a headshot. And maybe there's a tiny world you could find one more if you've got 2 bullets left, but it's very, very unlikely. Good retake from Lynn Vision. Like, one could have gone awry, especially as attacker gets this kill here, and then they clear Sue out properly from cave, as you can see, with the one player coming through Jag, and Mercury even peeking with the bomb, just making doubly sure that player is removed. It's a good idea, even when you have got the bomb there. You know he's just distracted from the Jag player. But that was where the good work ended for TYLOO. Force buy, though. 3 Galils and 2 Tech-9s in play with OK util with that plant. This is one that can very easily go awry for LV.
Charging in. Mercury will get that first while he's completely blinded up. It's only an MP9 lost. To trade off of information, I guess, you know, it comes quite far out of B, so they can't necessarily commit off the back of it. Call Me Sue, however, ready and raring for another fight. Amelia in towards middle. Exposed. Not going to give the overface. He had a bit of support, so they didn't fancy the re-peek. Still an advantage for TYLOO here.
Zaka. They need to make something happen here, Lynn Vision, and they're doing the right thing by moving 2 players up lane. A bit of a swing and a peek from Red Rum as well could definitely turn this around in their favour. It's going to be very awkward now. Low HP on the right, and Zaka will recover to find G. And Amelia's put himself in a really difficult difficult to pre-fire position when he's playing from main in that angle. He's recovered the round back into a 2v2 only now, though, and Attacker's found Zaka as well. He should not have been allowed to do that on that angle. That trade felt guaranteed. Now Starry has to clutch. Headshot angle being played by Mercury. He hears Starry stomping around. They know exactly where he's at, and now Mercury can feel like he's got the confidence to flank in from behind, and he finds it. That was a great recovery from Lynn Vision to begin with, but then TYLOO managed to give them one of their own.
Still no real predictable nature to this series, right? Lynn Vision were looking to pick up where they left off. They were also in a pretty good position, and now they know what it's like. It's just so insane. Very scrappy at times, and, you know, Asia CS doing what it does, really over-aggressive decision-making and mid-rounding, right? I think leaves them very unpredictable. An attempt being made here in towards middle. Listen, flashes are in, they're kind of okay, but that is what you'd maybe call an unlucky situation. Some of those spray downs being landed while they're blind. Not going to happen, and TYLOO move up to 2.
Yeah, this is actually kind of around TYLOO needed that previous one, right? Looked like it was going to fall away from them. Attacker answers back. Attacker is probably one of the bigger question marks of the current TYLOO roster, right? Because been around a very long time, Attacker, and probably the least player on the team you'd expect to really frag out. And when he gets a couple of really important impact kills, they really do tell. And that's, funnily enough, one of the, I guess you could say, call signs of their Pro League run. Because he didn't exactly have an incredible performance consistently, but he would, all too often, for their opponents at least, be the player that would pop up with a couple of really important clutch kills and impact frags to save certain rounds. Why they probably consider him still so integral to the team, and I wouldn't even disagree with that. But yeah, it's another one of these online qualifiers that could go awry from TYLOO. At least they managed to recover after that previous map at the beginning of this one. They're going to be rewarded with a 3-1 lead here. Full eco coming through. And a meaty nade. Starry takes 94 damage from that.
Yep. Almost the max. Almost the max. You can indeed get one shot by a nade with no armor. As in, you not having any armor, not the grenade. That was maybe poor, poor phrasing.
Hopefully there are no gorillas in the jungle. So we don't have to have our conversation again from earlier. Maybe. Listen, for me, when I first heard it, I just feel like it is a bit of a non-conversation. I don't think the gorilla wins. You know, you think about bodybuilders and how big they are, and you know they sort of struggle with the cardio and moving and touching their back and stuff. You know, it's kind of very similar. Yeah.
Logic to me that they just would be overwhelmed. If it was 100 1v1s, and we maybe give the gorilla 30 seconds to a minute to recover. Different conversation.
Yeah, but that gives the gorilla a caveat, though. It gives them an option. It's not a true...
But there is only one gorilla. See, if it was 100 men versus 5 gorillas, we might be on. If it was... Now, listen up. This is one that might change the game. If it was 100 men versus 5 chimpanzees, the chimps are ferocious. Yeah. And they eat other monkeys and stuff. You know, they're crazy. Yeah. And they can be swinging from the trees and stuff.
Yeah, we've watched our fair share of David Attenborough, bless him. So
yes, absolutely.
We know that at least, but
yeah. But one gorilla, I don't think he's gonna make it.
You know? No, there are plenty of animals probably around the outskirts of this map that could cause many a problem to a human. Jaguar. Snakes, that's for sure.
Yeah, not a big fan of snakes. Spiders.
I'm fine with spiders.
I was crazy for the spiders when I was younger for some reason.
Crazy as in you get scared of them, or you love them?
No, just finding out about, curious. Oh, okay. Very curious about them.
I
don't know why.
Yeah, I'm still okay with letting a small spider in the room go. You can just catch the flies for us, catch the moths.
Yeah.
All good. Big spiders, a little bit more questionable, but I will still pick them up and take them outside, you know? So, it's fine. Will Westmelon pick Mercury up? No, he won't. Mercury with a good catch. But Amelia and Zaka respond to make it 3v3. It's another big headshot from Attacker with the picked up M4A4. That how will scream its way to a critical kill to make it a 3v2. And Zaka feeling like he needs to go aggressive, obviously being a pick down in the round, and he will find G. That's a huge move from Zaka. Despite being 31 health and no armor, drops the bomb outside the doors.
Obviously evens things up, but it's just going to really slow the roll of TYLOO here, make them, in theory, more predictable. Now, Lynn Vision opting to abandon the B site and play a wacky rotational game. I think this is one of the things, again, that, you know, in this series, in the Asian game, they maybe just add a few too many moving parts, you know? I kind of like to call it, like, overplaying, and I think that's what they're doing here quite a bit on both sides, actually. It's like, just post up on the site, you know? Just go with what you know, and now you've put yourself in a really weird spot. You're starved of information. You don't know where these T's are at and what kind of post plant they're setting up, and you just walk out into the open, and it's a free kill for Mercury. If there was a gun up there, based on info or whatever, it's a free kill. It's a free kill, but it's just not the case. So, little bit too much from Lynn Vision, hands TYLOO the parameters to steal away that round.
Yeah, that's huge for TYLOO. I do agree with you, yeah. Again, like, we got benefit of hindsight. Everyone's an expert after the event. But I do wish he kind of just would stay put there, hold from the site. Maybe he gets a 1-for-1. Maybe that activates Call Me Sue to win the 1v1 in the end. And then, of course, Sue tries to put the smoke on the bomb because he knows Zaka's picked up a kit. But it's a kit with, like, 31 health and no armor. Like, one bullet is enough to take you down if you try and go through a defuse and a smoke. So just so frustrating when you see that happen. They're not to know, as I said, but you think percentages will be on your side a bit more if you do decide to stick around in those scenarios when we play 1-1. Maybe not pull out util when you're making your way up the ramp itself. You could have perhaps got that smoke onto the bomb without having to swing as wide as he did. Even then, I question whether it was necessary in that certain scenario. Anyway, following round in the eco for Lynn Vision. They've won one of these before on the deco on Nuke. That was one of the back-breaking rounds for TYLOO. This one is a lot more comfortable. Damage has been significantly done.
Yeah, I felt like there was maybe a chance to get a kill there, but sort of fluffed it up a little. Get the jelly arms out. Westmelon. Oh, look at these moves, man. Look at these moves. He's across. He's got the AK. Taking a peek.
No.
Get another. One more? No, not going to happen. Okay, so Westmelon was kind of the only chance that they had, and he will go down there. So should be locked in just a moment here. And yes, Jamyoung with the triple spray down, 5-1. As TYLOO's starting to run now, these rounds getting better and better.
These rounds do get a bit scary sometimes, but TYLOO 5-1 on T side. Good start for them. Absolute necessity to take this map to stay in the fight for Pro League. It's a map the Lynn Vision are excellent on regionally. They've won 9 out of 11. And they've beaten TYLOO in the Stunner qualifiers as well, 13-11. And of course, the other day as well in this very tournament. But this time Lynn Vision will put their foot forward a little bit more. Bit of aggression toward lane. Some flashes come over the top. It sets up Starry for 2 kills. Lovely 2 kills as well. And he even manages to get in toward mid and take Attacker as well. That's a brilliant hold. That push out mid from TYLOO gets completely destroyed.
I'm in a bit of an awkward spot there, as highlighted by the observer, so I don't really think that there is going to be a chance for TYLOO to get back in here. They're going to give it a go, flash through, looking for the fight, doesn't happen. And G is late to the party, can't really even attempt to trade his teammate. So it's going to be that. Lynn Vision will move up to 2. TYLOO's 5 kind of has to be the stopping point, at least for a little while, I think, until you get 4 or 5 rounds yourself. But always easier said than done.
One thing that I think is important to mention as well, that TYLOO did have, you know, okay results on this particular map back in Pro League, right? Actually managed to take FlyQuest to overtime, take Gamer Legion to overtime as well. I think that's the most impressive one by far. And then beating 3D Max as well. Sure, they got destroyed by Na'Vi, but that's fair enough. There's a couple of maps in that Pro League run for TYLOO where they were very much so near, but so far. G will elect to save here because he's got plenty of money in the bank. It's no issue. Not getting any loss bonus. It's probably better to save. Keep the AK and the armor. And again, not many T-side AWPs from TYLOO in this entire series. G obviously a lot more comfortable going for a rifle on T. Probably see a lot more on Dust 2, for example, if we played that map, but we don't between these two usually. Mostly a CT AWPer in this series has G been. Round 8. Lynn Vision getting their second on the board. Sorry, we'll get once again. Very much pressured in toward mid, but guess what? This time they have some, I guess you could say, protocols to deal with that aggression. It's a beautiful Molotov and damage to actually take him out of the round purely from the fire alone. But Amelia will remove Mercury on the re-aggression.
Saka trained in. Oh, misses the flick. It's a tough one, to be fair to him, but a really quick find, maybe much quicker than they were expecting. Spray down doesn't work for Jam Young. A lot of damage done, so Amelia's got to be careful. Rotations coming around quite quickly. So again, the bomb might look to bail here if Attacker gathers enough info. But my goodness, the walking was very nearly deadly. His patience will pay off. He's just keeping this player trapped in now who's got many fights coming his way. But Wes Mellon keeps his cool and might just have done enough. Bomb spilled in an awkward spot. Attacker's location known, and he lacks some info on that last player. Not going to be needed anyway. Wes Mellon super clean for 3.
It's one of the things that I think is so cool for Lynn Vision, right? Wes Mellon has always been around this team. I think he's been almost a legend of the org, I would say, at this point, right? I mean, this guy's been around forever and still captaining the team too. Like, people forget that people go to Rain on FaZe, people go to Tabson on Big, Crims on Fnatic, right? As players that have been long tenured on one singular organisation. Wes Mellon's been on Lynn Vision now for nearly 8 years. That is incredibly impressive in this day and age, right? Especially in a region that likes to chop and change so much.
Nice pickup from Zaka to open this. It's a quick round out of TYLOO. Desperate. They loved the B-Rush last time they played Lynn Vision on Ancient. If you were there, you might know what I am talking about, but not going to work in this round at all. Bomb down at the feet of the defenders. So indeed, it might just be a passive little save here. Jam Young stops hitting the mark. Really do worry for TYLOO.
Mercury and G, 2v5. Surely impossible. Good angle being used here by G, but you'd have to give Zaka a bit of a jump scare. There is a bit of utility available, but shouldn't be doing much, and there we go, avoided nicely. There was even teammate support just in case. Zaka gets given 2 1v1s. He takes both of them to create a quad kill. 4 on the board for him, and 4 on the board for Lynn Vision. Gap is now within 1. TYLOO on a half buy. Suddenly, it's Lynn Vision looking solid once again.
Still, I feel good about TYLOO's position. You know, a nice start to the game. Hard to sort of call, really. I think Ancient does lean a bit more towards the T side, at least at the very highest level. But it is a map that doesn't really seem to have any solid structure to it in terms of CT, T-sidedness, etc. So 1 or 2 more than the 5 would be nice, but 5 is still very workable.
think it deserves to be said as well that whatever happens here for TYLOO, Jamyang has had a brilliant series. For map 1, if you remember, he dropped a 22 and 11. At one point, he was 9 and 0. He did have 9 kills in 2 rounds in that game. Pretty insane first 2 rounds of the entire series. It's actually worth going back and watching those if you haven't seen them. If you're in chat right now and missed the start of the game, worth watching the first 2 rounds of Inferno. And even on the map, of course, they lost to Nuke. It was sort of relatively solid from him. And once again, he's playing really, really well, despite maybe some of his teammates lagging behind a little bit. They are still 1 round in the lead, so it's not any real issue here. Pretty crazy KDs, though. Pretty unusual to see 15 and 7, 9 and 4, and then 2 teammates, sorry, 1 and 7, 0 and 5. And they're still up by a round. Utility will be coming in toward B here. A proper execute on this low investment round. Bomb plant should be able to go down. Mercury will hop over on the B hop and get it down. So this retake is not a guarantee.
No, not necessarily, and they're able to get into some good post-plant positions now as the time ticks down. Decent nade across 4 players. We do have a flank here from G. Just got to be careful, trying to be annoying. Unfortunately, it's his teammates who are falling. You know, it looked like for a moment he was going to mess it all up and, you know, not get a kill, go down too early, etc. They're so damn close in terms of time, in terms of the damage, you know, 1 or 2 more well-placed bullets, and TYLOO could steal it, but that's just not what happens here.
Good retake in the end there from Lynn Vision. It wasn't the cleanest ever, but they kind of all understood what was going on and where TYLOO were, right? It's not like some of the duels were a bit awkward, but felt like there was no risk in the end of losing that one.
What now, I suppose, is the question. Now we are even. Will TYLOO be able to gain the upper hand again, or is it going to go to Lynn Vision here? Down goes Mercury for the first. We've got the double A main push to come in behind elbow. They're not going to be expecting this at all. Maybe just a stray look, though, could make the difference. They're hiding out in the smoke. Dangerous move, but it works. Westmelon catches them unawares, as does Call Me Sue, dropping the bomb. A lovely piece of tech there from Lynn Vision.
Oh, they're all over them. Like a cheap suit. All over the map. In their walls. In their spawn. Mosaic is wondering which side is he going to get peeked from first. He's got 50 seconds to figure it out as well. So it's like, listen, they could just prepare to kill me after time. They genuinely could. They would leave the final round of the half coming in with Mosaic on $450. Mosaic probably should try and push and go for the loss bonus, I would say, here. Looks like he will. A few warning shots coming in from Sue, but in comes the duel. We'll wait for a teammate, and there it is. Great recovery from Lynn Vision. They were 5-1 down. They're now leading 6-5. Could even win the half as well with the money situation of TYLOO. They're going to be on Galil's, and maybe 2 AKs if they're lucky.
Pure, unadulterated heartbreak on the cards once again. TYLOO have gone quiet all of a sudden. It starts flashing back in. All these Lynn Vision matchups have gone against them. You look at that head-to-head, which is a bit too long to even fit on the page. TYLOO have found isolated maps, but the past 4 meetings over 3 months have gone the way of Lynn Vision. So I think there was one on there yesterday that was a TYLOO victory, but that was a while ago now. So Lynn Vision looking to make it 5 in a row. Amelia standing strong for the double kill. Will be traded out. A bomb site roughly taken, but still not quite comfortable enough for them to get the bomb down, it would seem. A fake out coming in. Is there anyone around looking for a spam? The answer is no. So they will get the plant in here. Final round, of course. So Lynn Vision will be giving it everything. G moves up to an AK. Very, very quiet half from him. So now would be the perfect time. It's a well found flank from West Melon. Leaves it all on to G. He's found the only area that is indeed safe, but he gets shot in the back and then shot in the front. So 7-5 at the turn of the half. Lynn Vision with 6 in a row. Statement rounds for sure. TYLOO have got to pull their finger out here into the second half.
TYLOO hanging on by their fingertips to this BO5. Lynn Vision recover from 5-1 down to win the half 7-5. And one more of those, and they'll be able to get their spot at ESL Pro League. Only one spot available. It's not like making the final gets you the spot as well. This is for all the marbles.
Yes. Firm, keen collectors of marbles, these two teams, especially within ECL Asia. And this time around, as you say, only the one spot. They've had two in the past. The final has been for bragging rights and prize money only, but now it is, of course, for that Pro League spot, which is so coveted in Asia Pacific. Bomb going to go down as Lynn Vision start well. Can they hold on to the site here? A nasty-looking Glock for West Melon and a nasty-looking shot to follow it up. Trade should be here from Zaka. He actually takes a different peek and loses his head. Smoke is perfect. This gets a little weird now. G with the fake out, going to force them forwards, and it's too easy of a fight. Amelia knows there's nobody on it. Gets the headshot through the smoke. You can't be serious. Mosea with another tap, trying to draw him in, but there's no time. Kill comes through, but the defuse will not, and that is an insane shot on the pistol.
Ah, the jiggle headshot from Westmelon in toward Temple, and then Amelia doing the same, but behind the smoke. I mean, that is so hard to judge, right? I mean, there's no get on the defuse, sure. It would have been plenty of bullets would have gone through that smoke to try and deny it. There would have been a fresh reload coming in as well, as you can see, even if he didn't find the kill. But getting rushed down and covered by the second player could have completely changed that pistol. And the fact he finds that diffuser leaves it all on to Mazea, who's got no option but to try and fake it out. I mean, listen, he didn't have a kit. The only way you win the round actually is to hold it. Couldn't really... Knew he would have... If he did that option, he would have probably died as well. Or pushed, at least, either way. He was damned if you do and damned if you don't, as they say. Lynn Vision with a huge pistol, one step closer.
Yeah, there's been a mixture of rounds, unfortunately, for TYLOO, where you give them sympathy and others where you just get annoyed. Those combined together, I think, are really a poison chalice. So, cannot begin to imagine how they feel at the moment, and might be a few quick leaves from the TeamSpeak if this one does go south. Look to change things and revisit things on a different day. Mercury does open, and this is a deadly little crossfire to get into.
Damn.
They have managed to pull it back. Weaponry be damned, right? The AK is making all the difference there. So B-bomb site is not necessarily ripe, but it looks good for the taking. Jamyoung now the only serious threat for TYLOO, it feels like.
Yeah, honestly, they've got no real option but to try and scavenge what they can in toward lane. With the MP9 now recovered for Jamyoung. One more kill on the exit would be nice. Get a bit real money in the bank. Extra $600. They are looking for something. Trying to do as much damage to Lynn Vision as they can. Maybe the only way back into the game for them if they do damage to the economy at this early stage of the half. But they're going to have to fall away. No kills offered up on a silver platter. Everything is hard work for TYLOO right now. Lynn Vision will recover brilliantly with that great lane take. Dangerous. They made it work.
Yeah, looking good now. Double digits on the horizon. TYLOO's economy in an awkward spot, so should, for all intents and purposes, be 10. And then TYLOO, it's non-stop from them. They really can't afford to let rounds slip away once the guns come out, to be honest with you. Vision will really, really pummel the position. Given that 11, that 12. Flash it out middle. Okay, Zaka is blind forever. That felt a little longer than normal. Might have been another flash in there that we missed, but either way, no one home to really put up a fight. So they get aggressive on B, try and get that opener. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, just being patient here, Lynn Vision. They'll know they've got everything in their wheelhouse to get this one done and dusted. 9-5 lead, T-side, control of the money. Just don't make any silly mistakes. But said that before for both teams. Been a crazy game. As we hoped and expected, to be fair. First peek and from Westmelon they go as a group, and that's how you should go about it. Team up. Good control there from Sari on an awkward angle. Should get pushed down here by one of G or Jamyoung. There we go. So that's a free Galil that can be saved. And actually these two Galils, if they are saved, it would be pretty important to guarantee full utility and defuse kits into the following round. But I also wouldn't blame them if they play aggressive exits, knowing that they can just buy most of what they want anyway, just lacking a few bits and pieces. They are kind of teaming up for that angle now.
Yeah, I mean, as expected in this round, again, it's a shame they don't pull off a bit more, but going through the motions, and you can kind of find yourself doing this, I think, when it feels like your life is on the line, just playing by the book, because that's what you're supposed to do, and it should work out and whatnot. I would like to see from TYLOO some risks. You're going to have to take them, because the regular game is just not working for you. Lynn Vision have given themselves a really good cushion now to survive the odd slip up in a rifle round, so you kind of have to be the ones to change the game and force the rounds in your favor.
What have TYLOO got in the tank? The 2 Galils will be used. Of course, that allows the AWP to be in play as well. Dropped by Mercury. Here we go. Oh, I love this from Lynn Vision. The change of pace toward A. You know what? I did love it, but it's been completely cancelled out. It's probably the only option that I would say there is only fast option, which is probably the right one, I would say, considering they haven't really done that the entirety of the game, obviously. First gun round, try and shock TYLOO, but, well, TYLOO were very, very ready for that. And actually, with no progress made at all, and some of those previous rounds being relatively close, Lynn Vision's money isn't amazing.
No, it's true. It's true. A really nice springboard for TYLOO if they can actually do something with it. They'll be pretty happy with how that goes down. And again, well read. Pretty classic to just go for a rush play in a round that feels important. So they prepare themselves for that. Just takes the one kind of voice to be like, care for a rush. I can feel it in the water, you know. That one guy who's got like the spidey sensors on your team.
Yeah.
But we'll see. First kill comes in. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's not... I actually thought he got that ramp player, but he didn't. Not the best.
Uh-oh.
Trade's there. 3 versus 2. Bomb spilled. Uh-oh.
No.
2 versus 2. Bomb still spilled. I'll keep you updated as the round goes on. But all the same, Zaka gonna go down as soon as he gets that bomb. So it looks like we're all good. There's still a lot of damage, though.
P250, 1v2 against 2 full health players, both with a helmet. I don't see a world, but I've seen crazier things. Good recovery from TYLOO in the midst of the madness. Starry will look to push forward, headshot angle, trying to be played with, but G was ready. Good kill. Gap is now 3 again. 5 available for Lynn Vision, straight off the back of that previous round, of course, though. Gap is 3. Lynn Vision need 3 for another trip to ESL Pro League. Of course, they're going to be going to IEM Dallas. Huge event for them. With Call Me Sue, of course, playing an event in his previous country that he lived in, of course, playing for Wildcard in North America. And they're going to have the Major as well. 2 big NA events for Call Me Sue as an individual. Pretty sick stuff for him. And the immediate 1-for-1 in mid. As Lynn Vision look for another trip internationally. Call Me Sue will manage to deal with Attacker. Back into a 3v3. The mid fight in the end does even its way out, but Mosaic will realise how much commotion there has been in mid and will take map control all the way through B doors. It's a long rotation round, might just stick there actually. So they decide to walk back B, but we are moving into Red Room and G's been heard. He's making sound cues here. And you can see Westmoreland has told Zaka just not to peek. He's got a freebie, and there we go. Good communication, 3v2.
Yeah, really nice find. Opens up the A bomb site, of course. And I mean, TYLOO were sort of banking on the fact that it was going to be a B play or maybe from mid. You know, Mosaic was in so very deep. And with that, it leaves them a bit too far away from the A bomb site to really do anything. So honestly, maybe perfect scenario for Lynn Vision. They lose a rifle, they pay for it from an economic aspect, and then as soon as they get the guns back out, they're immediately on the board, you know, and because of the closeness of the previous rifle, you know, TYLOO cannot really attempt these riskier moves, which is what I was saying. That's kind of what they need. If you're just going through the motions, Lynn Vision are going to figure that out. They're going to get that random bit because they're in a position on the T side and in the ascendancy to take those risks, and they have less of a risk factor to them, you know, and that's exactly what happens in this round. Let's just walk up Red Room, see what we can find, and they win the round because of it.
Yeah, saving grace for TYLOO is they've got plenty of money, of course, after the last couple of rounds. They can afford a full repurchase with everything they want. But it's a huge round for Lynn Vision. For figuring out in the mid-round, great communication with Westmoreland there on that angle, sees the arm of G, here's the rotation, tells his teammate, don't you dare swing, I've got a free kill here. We can win the round off the back of it. And they do exactly that.
lot of noise from the utility here. I was going to say no real opportunity for a kill because no one was getting aggressive, but through the smoke, Attacker finds the first. Exactly what the doctor ordered for TYLOO. That's another one I don't quite understand. What a doctor's order? Do you know what I mean? They don't really
right
order
medicine
things. I mean, I
something?
guess. I suppose, but that's more of a pharmacist's job.
Listen, the doctor has to sign it off, mate. I don't know what. I have to
Yeah,
make
I
doubly
guess,
sure.
I guess. Yeah,
Like
maybe what the doctor ordered from the pharmacist, I suppose.
Yes. Something along those lines. Recovery kill here for Amelia. Attacker will go down. Mosaic with a good frag on Zaka, but G will go aggressive with the AWP, and Amelia is just so ready. Triple kill. Up to 18 in the game, trying to get Lynn Vision to another big LAN event. Add it to the list for 2025. Mercury, good response, finds the kill in the end. Sue's going to try and cut them off. They do realise here that B is completely open. They figured it out, and Sue is in the best possible position. They are vaguely aware of it. Mercury's creeping around here, trying to clear this out bit by bit. Jiggle peek by jiggle peek. But Sue is better, and Mazet needs to trade instantly to have any chance at this one, and he's not going to be allowed to. Call me Sue with 2, but Amelia QAQ with 3 wins the round.
That is another tough one for TYLOO. 4 versus 3. Should have had a trade-in from Donut. G with a bit of head loss, you know, maybe moving a bit too quick. Not buying time and space for his teammate. So now we have Lynn Vision on the cliff edge, ready to dive in, take the leap of faith, and hopefully find themselves at Pro League. We'll see. Not starting too well here. Attacker again gets the entry. G will find another. It's looking very good. TYLOO back with a vengeance. 3 kills across the map. Look pretty damn good to me. And there's presence from behind. I thought it was a team kill, but no, there's a phantom behind them in the form of Mercury. Just took a bit of time getting the second one for some reason.
Yeah, Zaka there moved as he was spraying toward Donut, and I thought like a random RNG bullet just shot his teammate in the head. But yeah. Good hold from TYLOO, but you just feel like it's too little too late and they're not going to be able to string these together. At least do have a half buy to go up against here, but if there's one AK, you can never be sure.
It's true. It is true. And these are the rounds, aren't they? You know what I mean? Pro League spot on the line. That extra $7,000, which is nothing to sniff at. And, of course, just the bragging rights of being the team. Particularly the team that TYLOO just can't seem to beat. And yeah, often with all those sort of titles in place, it's where you can pull it out. Not going to be the case here, though. After all that setup, they will just get completely mowed down. And TYLOO move up to 9. It's not loads of work. You know, look at it in terms of buy rounds. You're going to have 1 here, maybe. I mean, they might play super safe and just go for a half buy here, which would be quite a scary prospect.
Yeah, the right time for attack. Maybe even deciding whether they want to go for a full investment here, right? Like, I actually wouldn't blame them if they went for a half buy. I know it sounds crazy, having 4.4 on 2, 4.7 on Amelia, but man, you can get Galil, Util, and Star, and it's absolutely fine. But maybe they go like Tech 9 armor, good. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, look. Tech 9 armor, good Util. And then going for a full investment with all 5 AKs and everything they want in the next round. I actually like it, because this round is winnable still. And the next round will have everything you could possibly want. I'm a bit surprised, but I did call it. Rare, I got something right. Hell yeah.
Hey, listen, man, give yourself some credit. I think you, the more predictions you make, the more right you're going to be. You know, you might also be more wrong, but people don't really pay attention when we're wrong. I think maybe Maui Snake or somebody can't be wrong. But looking good here to hold the line once again towards middle. Attacker has been quite consistent in this location. It is a lower buy and a wacky move, but yeah, mid might be a no-go because of how good he has been the past few rounds.
Yeah, look, okay. That buy falls apart entirely, but it wasn't the round they're truly focused on. I'd love to see them get a little bit more work done there, to be fair to them. Like, I think going out mid aggressively as they did with a bit of util. TYLOO have been very good at defending that so far this game. Been more often than not winning those engagements. One player up, one player down. The fact that Westmoreland's actually managed to kill Jam Young there is incredible. He's got 2 players to face, and Jam Young is the one he gets focused on. My guy will say, what do you say, F me for? But Attacker will get the kill, up to 21, having a really good game. But TYLOO need 2 more.
All the way down to the wire here, as it says on your screens, just before the round starts, championship point. Lot of utility in towards mid there. Starry somehow only taking 5 damage. Felt like there was way more headed his way. Late B move here. With that smoke coming in, they're a little apprehensive. Well, going to charge forwards, not wasting any time. I thought it was just going to be for the lane control, but no, they're headed straight in. Mosaic finding 2, no. He stays alive, he's backed up. And a bit too wacky, a bit too wild from Lynn Vision. And there is a great irony in this. It's exactly what TYLOO tried to do yesterday to close things out on Ancient and couldn't quite get it. The B rushes, the B bursts. It's just far too predictable, guys.
Wait, though. Westmoreland's got some good pathing here. He's managed to crouch jump onto the box in cave, and Mercury has no idea about that. It all depends on the timing of the smoke fade and where he looks. Okay. He gets the kill. It's worth an attempt now. And very much on. With Mosaic, 22 HP. Bomb will now team up with Westmoreland. Starry is with him. Sure, 2 players on the site to defend it, but 2v2 on this side of the map. You never know. 34 seconds now. Mosaic's in the open. Lynn Vision just waiting for their opportunity to pounce. TYLOO won't want to go searching here, even though they're lacking information. They're worried about that even red room push through mid to flank the site. If they can duel Jam Young cleanly, this round's so on. Sees the arm, he's a chance, but no, Mosaic's there with 1 kill. That should be enough. Jam Young now lost in that position, but Starry gets the frag. 10 seconds for the plant, goes for a fake, but won't be seeing anything. Now he has to commit to it. And he will get it down. This is for ESL Pro League, for Starry and Lynn Vision on 6 points of health. Attacker, the top fragger for TYLOO. Rotating in from cave. Starry putting himself in the corner, ready and waiting for Attacker. Which way does he look first? The answer is towards Starry, and Starry will hit the headshot. He is the star to take Lynn Vision to ESL Pro League once again.
It's in his name. Starry 0103. Surely means 1 versus 3, right? That's what it means. Oh my god, what a find from him.